For it, for you to have a big game today, what's it going to take?
Just for me to play football like I've been doing all my life. You can't do anything extra. You just have to go out there, relax, and play the game that we
forward to this atmosphere that's going to be around here, knowing that everyone's cheering against you guys.
I love it. I mean, it makes the playoff part really emphasized, you know, so I'm ready to go out there.
Thanks so much, Reggie.
Thank you.
Well, Begelton and Calgary, they enter the playoffs on a 6-1 run, including that wild, really nice finish last Saturday against the Bombers by a score of 13-12. Saskatchewan, by the way, had taken 4 straight before that loss in Hamilton in Week 16, but we know how good these two teams have been against each other. So we welcome in our CFL insider, Farhan Lalji. And Farhan, it's going to be a little more difficult for the Stamps today, though, because no Malik Henry, correct?
Yeah, tough situation for Henry. He had a death in the family. A week ago, he had to go back to the United States for the funeral. It was very important to him not to miss that, but when he came back, there are quarantine restrictions around a return to that, so he's not available. Should the team advance next week, he would be available to play in the Western Final, and that's a tough loss because he leads the West in punt return yardage and in kickoff return average. Reggie Begelton will return punts. Jonathan Moxey and a committee will return kickoffs.
All right, so we don't want to look too far ahead, but if the Stampeders do end up taking this game today and they have to go to Winnipeg for the West Final, what would happen to the Stamps players that are currently unvaccinated?
Well, we know the new government regulations around charter flights kick in on December the 1st, so there are some players that will not be available. Now, that number was bigger when we first reported this a few weeks ago, but since then, there have been some Stampeder players that were unvaccinated that now are vaccinated, but there still are a couple, including some potential starters that would not be available for the Western Final. They wouldn't be put on an injured list, so the club does not have to announce that until they set the roster 48 hours in advance. Keep an eye on the defensive secondary as an area of concern, but for now, the club just wants to get to that point and then deal with it at that time.
Yeah, just one step at a time, but certainly not out of the ordinary when it comes to the 2021 season. Our Farhan Lalji. All right, it is time to make our predictions and try to not tick off a lot of fans around the league. Matt, let us go first with you.
Oh, I'm just jump in there, cannonball. I'm not sticking my toe in there. I'm going with Saskatchewan Roughriders to defend at home and beat down those demons that they've been faced with all season long in some really close matches. Fellas, now look at y'all.
Everyone's pointing at everyone.
I'm going Riders at home.
Go ahead, Chance.
I'm going to go Riders. Well, just the home. This one's such a coin flip, but a home field advantage.
Originally, I would go against you guys just to go against you, but if I'm going with my heart or what I'm going to think is going to happen, I got to go with those Riders. And I know of the last 3 semifinals in the West, the opposing team has won, but I think that changes tonight with these Roughriders winning the game.
Do you feel like Saskatchewan, or excuse me, Calgary's road record 5-2, that's going to play a difference in today's ball game?
It's the playoff.
No?
It means nothing.
Let's give a shout out to our colleagues out there, because I know Jim brought Cody Fajardo into the league. I actually brought James Duthie into broadcasting. I mentored him.
Interesting.
Hey, James, it's your first CFL game of the year. You're looking pretty comfortable, kid. Keep it up. Not bad.
You took my joke. I was going to say that Coach brought me into broadcasting as well. We miss you, Coach. That's all we're saying. I'm kind of jealous of James Duthie that he gets to work. Not that I don't love the 3 of you, but it's a team effort around here. Tammy Kaiser of Grand Prairie, Alberta. This is your chance to win big thanks to Save On Foods' $1 Million touchdown to win. If a kickoff is returned for a TD, you could win groceries for a year. If 2 are returned for touchdowns, you could win $1 million. Here's Dustin Nielsen and Glenn Suter.
A beautiful late November day in Regina sets the stage for what should be a thriller this afternoon. The red-hot Stampeders roll in, having won 6 of their last 7 games. The only loss coming at the hands of their opposition today. The Riders locking up home field advantage with a 4-game heater of their own down the stretch, awaiting the winner, a date with the Bombers in the West Final.
Bo Levi Mitchell is 11-4 against the Saskatchewan Roughriders and 5-2 in the playoffs, but lost in 2019 to the Bombers in the West semi-final. It's been an up-and-down season for him this year. Cody Fajardo, the last time he was in a playoff game, a throw off the uprights was the difference. He threw for over 360 yards, but lost in the final to Winnipeg.
His head coach still looking for that first playoff victory, but like I mentioned, they did pick up those 4 victories down the stretch to lock up this game. Beat his brother, that man right there, for the first time in their last meeting. For the first time ever, Dave starts the playoffs on the road, having such great success here early in his career as the head coach of the Calgary Stampeders. Mosaic is rocking. I'm excited to call this game, Glenn. This is going to be a good one. And it will be Calgary who gets the ball first. We're far ahead to talk about the return game. And they will have Longley back to take this one. And he takes it on the near side of the field, hammered out of bounds at the 32. And that is where Bo Levi Mitchell will get the ball for the first time.
Yeah, I mentioned an up-and-down season for Bo, through more interceptions than touchdowns this year. Very uncharacteristic, but his best game was his last game, that against the BC Lions, to clinch a playoff spot a couple of weeks ago. He is 2-1 this year against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, including a win here at Mosaic.
And here at Mosaic, they went deep, 71 yards on the first play of the game to Markeith Ambles. We'll see if Mitchell looks to do that again. Starts here on his 32. This time they'll play conservative and hand it off to Carey, who pushes ahead very nicely, takes it out close to the 40. Here's a look at the Calgary offense, brought to you by Expedia.
Well, Ucumbre Williams was question mark to start at left tackle, but he will go up against Jonathan Woodard and AC Leonard in this one, along with Julian Goodjones at right tackle. Bagleton was the mid-season signing, well, late season signing, really, just played a couple of games, but that receiving corps goes from good to great with him in it.
2nd and 4. Mitchell throwing this time, has a completion on the far side of the field. That'll be enough for a first down as he goes to Kamar Jordan, one of his most reliable targets all season here early in this game.
Yeah, Western All-Star Kamar Jordan, who has had a rough journey to get to this point, but really understands and appreciates the nomination to the All-Star team and been the #1 target for Calgary all season long.
7th in the league in receiving yards this past season. West All-Star, as Glenn mentioned, 2nd time in his career, that honor. Back to Carey, tries to kick it to the outside, and he's upended on the far side of the field. That was Nick Marshall moving down to finish him off.
Now, taking a look at the Saskatchewan Roughriders defense, 2nd in the league in quarterback sacks. AC Leonard, versatile, led the league in sacks with 11, and Micah Johnson, a Western All-Star, along with Micah Tights, who is a nominee for Outstanding Canadian in the linebacking corps. Their nominee for Outstanding Defensive Player, Luchez Purifoy.
2-yard pickup for Carey. Crowd here at Mosaic trying to get in the head of Bo Levi early. Mitchell looks to his left, 3 receivers that way, dumps it off underneath, and that will be short of the first down. It is a completed pass as he does find Hunchak, but that'll bring up a 3rd down right at midfield. It looks like they'll need a pretty good chunk here, and they'll likely be forced to kick this away.
That punt team came out a little slow, didn't it? It was
a little
like
bit of hesitation.
Coach Dave Dickinson was thinking about this one, but it's about almost 3.5 yards. We played the field position game early.
Jamal Morrow back to return kicks here for the Riders, averaging 11 yards per punt return so far this season. Cody Grace, an All-Star himself, set to kick this away from the 45. Morrow takes it right at the 10. 47-yard kick. Morrow up and over one tackler. Down just shy of the 20. Cody Fajardo, a lot on the line for Fajardo, looking for that elusive playoff victory right here at Mosaic. He's got the ball next. The Riders hosting this West semifinal here today, and the season started with a nice stretch at the beginning of the year as they opened up 3 at home, and then they ran into the Bombers, who of course await the winner of this game today. And after that, Cody Fajardo finally was able to get by the Calgary Stampeders. After that, they ended up signing Duke Williams. In a short season here, Glenn, there's a lot of different storylines with this team here in Regina.
Yeah, absolutely. And clinched the playoff in the home field playoff game with that win versus Calgary, and finally found how to solve the Calgary puzzle.
Fajardo starts on his own 18, hands it off, and nowhere to go for William Powell. And they'll see if they can establish Powell on the ground today. Of course, Cody Fajardo can do some damage with his legs as well.
Yeah, the leading rusher, as I mentioned in the pregame show, at the quarterback position. Very good numbers, most important being that 9-4 record and the ability to host this playoff game. But he's had to scratch and claw for every win this year.
2nd and 10 here, facing a throwing situation. Fajardo dumps it off underneath, was trying to set up a little bit of a screen to Powell, but he stumbled and went down, and it falls incomplete. So a quick 2-and-out here for the Riders to start this game.
Well, it looked like they may have had something out of the backfield here, but Powell either stumbled and tripped over his own lineman, possibly, that was out there pulling around to get a block in Evan Johnson. Quick 2-and-out for Saskatchewan, and that field position starts to get a little bit lopsided.
In first quarters this year, in the 3 matchups between these two clubs, Calgary outscoring the Riders 27-6. So they have dominated the first quarter. Now this ball is going to bounce. Bagleton scoops it up at the 51. There is a flag on the play after just a 33-yard kick from Vedvik. And excellent field position here for the Calgary Stampeders.
Sort of the opposite type of season for Calgary. Saskatchewan started hot.
No yards, Saskatchewan. It's a 5-yard penalty. First down, Calgary.
And Dave Dickinson's group didn't.
Yeah, they certainly did not. They started 0-2, and of course, Bo Levi Mitchell hurt in the early stages of the season. Jake Mayer came in and did some very good things. The worst start in franchise history since 2004. They go to 2-5. And a big win over the Lions as they were starting to heat up a little bit. And partway through the season, 2 huge pieces come back in Roberson and Reggie Bagleton, and they are here. And then obviously, Calgary Stampeders in the CFL playoffs. They're always here 16 years in a row. And they'll hand it off to Carey again, trying to get something going on the ground, but that Riders front would have none of it.
Yeah, winning 6 of their last 7. Including a win last week against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Of course, nothing in the standings on the line for either team in that game. But Dave Dickinson's group needed a mini heater, as he called it, back after the bye when they played Hamilton, then had the bye and went head-to-head with Saskatchewan for 2 straight games, won both of them.
The only team to beat them in the last 2 months. One on the other side of the ball today. Empty backfield for Mitchell. Near side has a completion down to the 40. But that will be well short of what they needed as he goes to Markeith Ambles, and that will bring up 3rd down for the Stampeders.
Interesting start here. The 2 teams sort of dancing around the ring right now before they really set in. Calgary and their 2 wins against Saskatchewan this year got off to good starts in both of those games. I mean, big plays and leads in the first quarter. That didn't happen in the game that Craig Dickinson's team won in Calgary in their 3rd meeting.
Paredes will get us started. This will be a 48-yard attempt from the left hash. He has hit 19 in a row coming into this one. And that kick is up, and it is wide left. Paredes misses it. And that one will be brought out by Morrow down the near sideline. He'll take it up to the 15. Morrow, there's a flag in the middle of the field as Morrow is going to take this one all the way back down to the 40, to the 30. It does not look like he will be caught. Morrow all the way to the house in the return. But a flag back at the Rider 20. A rare miss from Paredes as we await the call on the field. Everybody anxiously waiting, as it looks like.
It looks like it's coming back is what it looks like.
During the return, illegal block, Saskatchewan, number 37. Half the distance to goal. First down, Saskatchewan.
Jeremy Clark, the guilty party, taking down the kicker. 124-yard return. No more. A huge play early in this game taken off the board because of that right there.
Yeah, this is the first controversial moment of this playoff game, and this block from Jeremy Clark looked like it was in front of Rene Paredes. His shoulder pad was in front of Paredes. Not sure why that flag came out, but it puts Saskatchewan back inside their own 10-yard line.
They just showed it on the screen here at Mosaic, if you heard those boos come across on the broadcast. Instead, 1st and 10 for Fajardo on his own 5. Hands it off. And Powell will take it out, give them a little bit of breathing room as we take a look at the Riders offense.
Well, Reggie Begelton was a late signing for Calgary. Up front for Saskatchewan, Dan Clark and Evan Johnson will anchor down the interior against Mike Rose. See how they hold up there. I mentioned Reggie Begelton because the big signing for Saskatchewan was Duke Williams, and in his second game this year, Paul McRoberts will start at receiver.
2nd and 7 for Fajardo. Looks to his left, throws to his left. Intercepted just inside the 20. Moxie's got his 3rd of the year, and he'll take it back down to the 5. Jonathan Moxie, the only player in this Calgary defense with multiple interceptions on the season, and he's got another one, none of them as big as that.
Well, he ran the route here. This is Shaq Evans on the slant route, and Jonathan Moxie, who had a pick in the game in Calgary, is able to step right in front of that. It looked like Evans was trying to get around one of the defenders going outside, and when he did that, took him off his lane. Moxie jumps it. First sudden change.
Just one step to the outside to get around that defender, threw him off, and now a chance here for Bo Levi Mitchell early to put his team on top. Works from the 5. Hands it off. Carey picking his way towards the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown, Calgary. The visitors strike first. Kadeem Carey gets home.
Got to take advantage of that sudden change and the turnover, and that's exactly what Calgary does. Kadeem Carey had one of his best games, over 100 yards rushing against Saskatchewan here at Mosaic. And he goes off that right side and scores after the interception by Moxie.
You have a missed field goal return touchdown called back on a questionable call, a turnover right after that, and then the touchdown. And in a matter of 3 plays, this football game has been entirely flipped in the early going as we near the midway point of the first quarter. Excellent season for Kadeem Carey. He makes a big impact early here in the postseason as the extra point is good. And Calgary, we talked about their ability to get up early against the Riders, and thanks to Kadeem Carey, they've done it again. It starts with the turnover. Cody Fajardo looking to get Evans involved early, and it backfires, Glenn.
Just a great aggressive play by Jonathan Moxie to jump that slant route, take it down to the doorstep, and then Kadeem Carey finishes. You get that sudden change, you keep momentum by scoring immediately. Carey punches it in. And it's 7-0, a 14-point turnaround.
Carey almost 900 yards on the ground in the regular season, 7 touchdowns as well. And now he tacks one on here in the first quarter of this game. Bobbled by Morrow, but he picks it back up at the 5. Morrow looking to the far side of the field, has some room again, and another nice return for Morrow. And there's Moxie. We mentioned it's his 3rd interception of the season. One of the other ones was also against the Riders and Cody Fajardo.
Yeah, he really frustrated Cody Fajardo. This sealed the deal in Calgary in the win for the Stampeders. Moxie, an interception there, and that pushed Cody. He was frustrated after that throw, went to the bench, was upset with his receiving core, wanted to see more fighting the dog down the field. from his receivers, and Moxie starts this playoff game with an aggressive move on that slant route for the first pick of the game.
Shortly after that, they would sign Duke Williams, although they said that was in the works for a little bit. Now they'll hand it off and get a push ahead outside the 35. A great second effort by pretty much everyone involved there, as we'll take a look at the Calgary Stampeders defense.
Outstanding defensive player nominee for Calgary, Mike Rose, was unstoppable against Saskatchewan here at Mosaic Stadium in Game 2 in the series. Darnell Sankey led the league in defensive tackles with 97. In the back end, Trey Roberson, also a late season signing for Calgary, getting their star cornerback.
Needing 2 yards for a first down. They'll get that and 20 more as they go right back to William Powell, and he powers it out over the 45.
Both teams obviously would love to establish the run, get their offensive line firing off the ball, and get their running backs involved. This time Saskatchewan brings Albert Awachi in at fullback to get a little more blocking help for William Powell.
First and 10 on the 47 for Fajardo. 3 receivers to the right. He'll turn and hand it off again, and they'll push it out over the 50 into the belly of Powell before he is stopped by Berglund.
Jason Moss, the offensive coordinator, former head coach. Saskatchewan now calling the plays for Cody Fajardo. The guy that he has leaned on of late has been Duke Williams, who had some things to say about the Calgary secondary this week.
He always has something to say. Here's Fajardo. Looks to the left, goes to Williams. Williams goes up and gets it, comes down with a first down on Calgary's side of the field.
Well, what an acquisition he has been to have Duke Williams to come in and just be the sure hands that Cody Fajardo needs, and a guy that'll win that battle. He'll win the 50-50 ball, whether it's a deep ball or on that little slant.
Brings some toughness on the offensive side of the ball for this team. Fajardo on the 51, takes the handoff, rolls to his right, dumps it off to his right. He's got a man, Alexander Dupuis, and Dupuis takes it down to the Calgary 40 as the Riders offense gets some momentum here in the first quarter.
Yeah, you just saw Jason Moss, the play caller. I like this call. I like the call to use play action to get Cody Fajardo on the edge, to get him to move his launch point so he's not always throwing from the pocket. If he does that, it should slow down the pass rush from Mike Rose and guys like Sean Lemon up front for Calgary.
4th catch of the year for Dupuis. First and 10 now on the Calgary 40. Everybody over to the right for Fajardo again. Had some time. Looks to the far side of the field. That one up for grabs. Picked off again, and it's Moxie again. As Jonathan Moxie goes up and gets it, takes it away from Shaq Evans once again, and Cody Fajardo frustrated early. Jonathan Moxie making plays here in the early going. Fajardo looking for Evans. Moxie would have none of it. Calgary gets the ball back.
Well, the first pick was on Cody Fajardo. This one, it looks to me like it's on Shaq Evans, the receiver and intended target. He needs to shave off his route at the top of this route here, or else he's going to have Moxie come underneath. He's running in this angle. As the ball's in the air, he's got to shave it off and come back towards the line of scrimmage and fight for that football. He just stays straight up in his route, fades away from it almost, and Jonathan Moxie takes his second of this game.
Moxie, now with 4 of the 8 interceptions the Stampeders defense have been able to come up with so far this season. Cody Fajardo starts the game 2 of 5 for 19 yards and 2 interceptions. And now an opportunity here for Bo Levi Mitchell to put together a drive and take control of this game early. Riders defense and fan base will have a few things to say about that. Starting on the Calgary 25. They'll give it to Carey. Cuts it back outside the 30 before he is stopped. A.C. Leonard in on the tackle after a 7-yard pickup for Carey.
Carey, a big part of those 2 wins. 78 yards in game 1, the first win for Calgary. Over 100 in game 2. I thought that was one of his best of the season here at Mosaic, but Saskatchewan Roughriders defensively are going to have to be gap sound up front.
Hey, jump in. Listen to me. Hey,
there's a storyline developing here that we've already talked about with these 2 teams going head-to-head, and that is Calgary getting out on top in the first quarter. And if you look at the games so far this season, they were up 14-0. They were up 10-3, and then they were tied 3-3 at the end of the first quarters. So if you're the Riders, I mean, you're familiar. You've been in this position, managed to win the 3rd of those 3 meetings, but certainly not an ideal start, as Dearborn was getting looked at, getting the start today. And he will walk off the field, as we now have Calgary sitting at a 2nd and 4 situation after they ended up officially giving Carey 6 on his last touch.
You talk about those big starts. Remember Markeith Amble's 71-yarder, the very first play here at Mosaic during the regular season. Bold got another deep throw here.
On his own 31, empty backfield for Mitchell. Looks to his left, throws over the middle, has a completion, and a big hit. Dion Lacey makes Ambles pay the price, but it was enough for a first down.
And if you ask Markeith Ambles on this, it'll be right over the middle of the field. You ask him on this throw, he'll pay the price. He no problem paying the price because he moves the chains.
Lacey timed that up well. Took him down clean. Fresh set of downs. Ball in the Calgary 38. Back to Carey. Carey busting through. And Purifoy is there to slow him down before he turns and rolls out to the 45 with a 7-yard pickup.
Now let's take a look at the numbers versus Saskatchewan. Kadeem Carey running the football. And when you take a look at the 3 games they've played, 3 regular season games, over 300 yards of offense and a touchdown.
They go back to him here. He spins towards a first down, and will depend on the spot.
Now what I did notice is in the 3 games, the Saskatchewan Roughriders seemed to start to get the hang of it and how they were going to stop Carey, because his average was 7 yards in game 1, 5.4 in game 2, and then under 5 at 4 yards in game 3, the one they won. So it looked like they had started to figure out how to stop Kadeem Carey. And so far, he's had good success on first down.
3rd and 1 for Mayer, and this will be awfully close. I don't know if he stumbled a bit as he tried to lunge forward, but this is not a sure thing, that's for sure. And they will call for a measurement. I just wanted to mention there on Carey quickly, 44% of his receiving yards for the entire season came in the 3 games against the Riders. So they found different ways to get him involved, and a huge measurement here early in this ball game. This would be a big stop for the Riders defense. Did they get the job done? Let's get a look. Oh my goodness. Looks like it's going to be Riders ball as the defense gets it back for Cody Fajardo. All smiles for Craig Dickinson.
Yeah, and while you can challenge this, Dave Dickinson likely won't, because in a play like this, almost impossible to move the ball one way or another a few inches through replay. There's just too much going on, hard to see exactly where the ball is, so they have to trust the spot of the official. Turnover Saskatchewan.
They've given it away a couple of times. This time the defense gets it back. They'll hand it off to Powell. A nice push ahead for William Powell as he takes it awfully close to 10. He just short. of a first down. That's his best carry of the ball game.
Cody Fajardo is just not on the same page with Shaq Evans. Now, I wonder, as this game goes on, is he going to keep going to Evans, keep trying to find that rhythm with his star receiver? It's been like that since Evans has returned. In fact, when we talked to Cody this week, he said they were still sort of struggling in practice this week before the playoff game. 2 throws in his direction, 2 interceptions so far.
5 games since returning from injury, as high as 51 total. Now Fajardo's going to look down the field to Evans again, and he's tripped up. There's a flag on the play. Looks like Raheem Wilson takes the penalty, and that'll move the ball down the field in a hurry.
And there's your answer. He is going right back to Shaq Evans. He's going to work this until he gets it right, and Shaq Evans draws the penalty flag. Now, this one looked pretty close as well. Raheem Wilson.
I didn't touch him! I didn't touch him!
We have accidental defensive pass interference. Calgary, number 29. That's a 10-yard penalty. First down.
Well, you could hear Wilson say, I didn't even touch him. But let's take another look, because he definitely stumbled and fell. It was a corner route right here from Shaq Evans. And Wilson definitely falls behind him, but does he trip him up at all, or does Shaq Evans just sort of trip on his own? Oh, it does look like their feet clipped. That's why it's accidental.
Ball placed on the 29. Fajardo, high snap, turns, gets it to Powell. He goes right up the middle and takes it down inside the Calgary 25, a pickup of 5 yards.
Is it just me, or is there more commitment to the run game in William Powell than we've seen all season long from Saskatchewan?
Yeah, he had that one game. The last big one that he had was when he had 20 carries and went for over 100 yards. But it does seem, and when Fajardo's thrown a couple of interceptions early in this game, it's not a crazy idea to get the ball to William Powell with 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons. There's a completion to Paul McRoberts drawing into the game today, his 5th catch of the year, and he takes it inside the 20 and gets a fresh set of downs.
Just his 2nd game playing this year. His first, he was targeted 4 times, caught all 4.
Everything that's been thrown his way, he's brought in so far.
Apparently had a great week of practice.
On the Calgary 17, back to Powell, nice jump cut. Gets in behind the defensive line and takes it down close to the Calgary 10 as William Powell over 40 yards on the ground in the opening quarter. His team is down 7, but they are knocking on the door in this West semifinal. We're off to a very good start. Don't go anywhere. Stamps Riders continues. Calgary with the lead on the road here after the opening quarter, but Saskatchewan is knocking on the door. 3 turnovers already combined between the 2 clubs. There's a lot to discuss here on this first
Well, and one missed field goal return for a touchdown taken off the board for a controversial penalty. But the rushing yards is interesting to me for Saskatchewan, 44 of them, all from William Powell. It looks like they're really committing to the run game, especially on first down, to get Cody Fajardo in manageable situations on second.
Yeah, he's on pace for his best game in a long time, and if they can establish that on the ground here moving forward, something to build on, maybe open up, make things a little bit easier for Cody Fajardo. But for the Riders, you've thrown 2 interceptions, and now here you are with an opportunity to tie this ball game up. So not in the worst of spots, you would think, after turning the ball over a couple of times. With that being said, Calgary going for it on 3rd and short, and the Riders defense getting the ball right back.
And one of those turnovers inside the Saskatchewan 10-yard line.
Both of the turnovers, if you're just joining us, Jonathan Moxey interceptions. 2nd and 4 for Fajardo. Powell stands in to the right of his quarterback. Fajardo, designed quarterback keeper, trying to push ahead, takes it down to the 10, just inside the 10, closer to the 9, but that'll bring up.
Wow, Mike Rose just read the play and was there to stop Cody Fajardo and put the decision in the hands of Craig Dickinson. He's right over the nose, and he just fights his way to the play, reads the formation, reads the blocking up front, and shoots through the gap. Brent Monson, the defensive coordinator, And linebackers coach for Calgary. Likes to rush 4. And drop back into all kinds of different looks in the back end.
Lothar from 17 left hash, and that is good. He has now made 12 in a row and is 10 of 12 against Calgary this season. And it's not very often you have an opportunity to see two brothers coach in a big game like this. You have to go all the way back to the Super Bowl with the Harbaughs. Now we've got the Dickinsons here. For more on that, let's send it down to Sarah Orleski.
Well, Dustin, we've seen them coach against each other in the regular season, obviously, but Dave Dickinson saying, you know what, it's still pretty cool to be able to coach in a game like this against his brother. You know who else thinks it's pretty cool? Their parents, Bob and Sue Dickinson, who are watching with some friends at home at Great Falls, Montana. They had the opportunity, I had the opportunity to speak to them yesterday and ask them about this. Bob told me that Mom, understandably, would be nervous watching this one. She'll be wearing both green and red. He'll be a little bit more critical in his viewing. He was a former football coach for years. But they are excited that regardless of the outcome of this game, that it means, you know, one Dickinson son is going to be taking one step closer to the Grey Cup.
That's a fair point. I mean, one of your boys are going to win, the other one's going to lose, but one of them's going to have a chance to still win it all.
I tell you what, I love that Bob coaches the coach. Coaches the coaches, I love it.
2nd and 1. And they will push that ball ahead, and that should be enough for a Calgary first down.
Yeah, I mentioned at the break the run game for Craig Dickinson's group and William Powell, but Kadeem Carey's doing the same thing for Calgary on first down. He's getting that 5, 6, 7 yard gain on first down. Boy, it really opens up the playbook for Bo Levi Mitchell.
Carey's got 38 yards on 8 attempts so far. Scoots over to the right for Bo Levi here. 1st and 10 from his own 46. Mitchell over the middle. That one in no man's land and falls incomplete. He was looking for Kamar Jordan. Here's Craig Dickinson talking about his dad a little bit.
My dad, he comes from a place of knowledge and wisdom, and he knows what he's talking about. So if he's got something to say, he's probably right. Now, whether I want to listen to it or not is a different thing, but I am the older brother. David, on the other hand, for sure wouldn't listen because he's got a little different temperament than me. But my dad knows what he's talking about. So hopefully he'll have good things to say after this game.
Got to throw the brother under the bus a little bit too, right? You have to.
Dave is not listening.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I don't know about that.
And there's a challenge flag on the far side of the field here after that ball. I did mention how it kind of fell in no man's land, and wondering if Jordan was disrupted on his way to that ball.
Calgary is challenging that there is defensive pass interference against their receiver, number 88. We'll review the play.
Dave Dickinson on the season has won 1 of his 6 challenges. We'll find out what happens here when we return. Well, the road to the Grey Cup continues next Sunday, beginning with the East Final. Man, Ticats and Argos. Come on, you kidding me? And then we've followed by the West Final. The Bombers waiting for the winner of the game here today. The action gets underway at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 Pacific, only on TSN.
I'm wondering about this challenge here.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Incomplete pass. Calgary is charged a timeout and has no more challenges for the rest of the game.
Fired up about it. He was the guy that they were targeting with this flag. Let's take a look.
Yeah, Purefoy's right inside here, and he's going to open up with Kamar Jordan as the route develops, but he doesn't jam him or take him off his route. He just gets in his own lane, and Kamar Jordan does not, again, shave underneath that coverage, so no interference there. I'm surprised by the challenge.
2nd and 10 for Bo Levi Mitchell. Out of the pocket, on the run, over the top, picked off. Getting underneath it is Elgady. And the Riders defense picks off Bo Levi Mitchell just down inside the 40. Back-to-back turnovers, 1 on downs and 1 into the arms of Gainey. And the Riders are are back in business.
Yeah, I mentioned off the top that Bo Levi Mitchell has thrown more interceptions this year than touchdowns, and that's very uncharacteristic of him. We asked Dave Dickinson about it, and he said when he misses sometimes on the throws in the middle, he's missing high. When you miss high, you've got defensive backs in the back end just waiting for those tip balls. And this time Ed Gainey runs this one down. Said he's missed inside on some outcuts, and he's missed high on some throws down the field. That one, another high throw.
Off the fingertips of Colton Hunchak into the waiting hands of Ed Gainey. His 4th interception of the season, as turnovers continue to be a huge story here in the first half at Mosaic. Fajardo's got the ball back again. 1st and 10 from his own 38. And once again, they'll hand it off to Powell. A nice hole, takes it outside the 40 before he is taken down in the middle there by Darnell Sankey, who's had a heck of a season.
Yeah, with this run game on 1st down to William Powell, we're going to talk a lot about Darnell Sankey, who led the league in defensive tackles with 97. Has just come in as a rookie. I mean, wasn't officially on the rookie list, so wasn't available for the Rookie of the Year award.
Would have been in the mix.
Yeah, because he played in the NFL, but he certainly would have been had he not played those games down south.
Empty backfield for Fajardo. 4 receivers to the wide side. That's where he looks. That's where he's going to throw, and that is held onto by his running back, William Powell, and it's a 1st down for the home side.
A couple weeks ago, we had a chance to Zoom with William Powell and asked him about maybe his frustration level when it came to not getting the ball as much as running backs like to get the football, and his answer was exactly what you want to hear. All about team first, all about doing whatever the team asks him to do. Tonight, it looks like they're featuring him with the ball.
10 touches already, some pressure coming here. Fajardo, near side of the field, got it into the hands of Kean Schaefer-Baker, back to the line of scrimmage, and no further on the play.
What a year for Kean Schaefer-Baker, outstanding rookie nominee. Pride of Mississauga, Old Lady Mount Carmel Secondary, and his high school coach, Patrick McCallion, said he wouldn't even have had the opportunity to play pro football without the coaching from his high school guy back in the day, and wanted to say hi to him.
His best game of the year was 170 yards, and it happened against the Calgary Stampeders. They hand it off to Powell again. He takes it down on the Calgary side of the field. Before he's wrapped up that time, Sankey was involved again on the play. I think it was the 2nd man in.
That's called the A gap. That's the B gap. A gap between center and guard, B gap between guard and tackle. And with the guard going down, that opens up B gap run there for William Powell.
3rd and 3 here for Fajardo.
Trying to call him.
Trying to draw them offside.
Yes, he is.
And eventually we will get that whistle, and they will kick it away instead.
Time count violation.
7-3.
Saskatchewan, number 7. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
3rd and 3 in that spot. I mean,
yeah, you see it many times. I mean, you know, offenses will go out and try, and if they're within 5 yards to the 1st down, try and deliberately draw the defense offside if it's not successful.
Now we've got some pushing and shoving as both teams were getting their special teams units out on the field. Wilson, Duke Williams, no surprise. Sankey apparently in the mix. The officials and teammates do a good job to separate everybody.
Which is smart. That's where your leaders have to step up. Make sure you don't lose a guy to disqualification in a big game like this.
Vedvik stands just inside his 40. Reggie Bagleton back with the Stampeders and back ready for this return. Does not have a catch yet today. Is Bagleton. Bagleton will slide under this at his own 10. Purifoy right there on him. Wrapped him up. Bagleton got away. Bagleton staying on his feet. Finally gets hammered down at the Calgary 25. Stampeders on top. 7-3 in the first half.
Welcome back to Mosaic Stadium and this Western semifinal. Every year since 2010, the Jake Godar Award has been handed out to the player that represents the attributes of a Canadian veteran: strength, perseverance, courage, comradeship, and contribution to community. The very first one was Saskatchewan's Mike McCullough, a linebacker, back in 2010. Again, this year we have great nominees from every team in the league, and the award will be handed out Grey Cup week with the rest of the awards. There's the two representatives here in this game, Paredes and Lowther, two kickers.
Does the game come down to the foot of one of those two
just
men?
May.
There's a pretty good chance that it could. Now here is a completion as they go back to Kamar Jordan. Bo Levi Mitchell, 5 of 7 for 25 yards and an interception so far here this afternoon.
Said he loved being the underdog. And I'm not sure they were the underdogs going in, although home field advantage for Saskatchewan, I believe, made them the favorites in some.
I don't view anybody as an underdog in this game. Never did really coming into it. This thing's a coin flip from the very start. Here's Bo Levi Mitchell over the middle, and that one was up for grabs momentarily as well. Lacey might have had the best crack at it, but it does fall incomplete. And that'll bring up third down, and Calgary will be forced to kick this away.
Yeah, Dion Lacey was breaking for the hit. I mean, he was going after the hit here, and then the ball popped out. See 45 trying to track down Kamar Jordan and go right for the body, and then the ball popped out and just surprised him.
Grace standing inside his own 15. Jamal Morrow waiting back at his 40 for this kick. Morrow won't even have to move. One step ahead, a 44-yard kick. Morrow brings it back on the far side field. Stays on his feet. Here goes Jamal Morrow again. Morrow down to the 30. Will they catch him? He gets to the 20, to the 10, and all the way to the house. Jamal Morrow, no flags on the field this time, and he takes it home for a major strike.
Calgary Stampeders have had the best cover unit under Mark Killon for not only this year, but many years going back 5-6 years. Best net punt average, great cover teams, but in this one today, Jamal Morrow has got him a couple of times, and this one will count.
69-yard touchdown return for Jamal Morrow. When you get looks at this guy, you go, well, you know, he's due to do something big.
He's close.
The guy who had the best shot at him was Charlie Moore, and he kind of put his shoulder into him, couldn't slow him down. Extra point is through, and the Riders are on top. 10-7, courtesy that man, Jamal Morrow. 69 yards to the house for the lead.
Boy, those cover teams are all about lanes, and you see Charlie Moore right here, number 43, too close to his teammate. He needs to be out in this lane, and it's going to be Moore who misses the tackle on Jamal Morrow as this return progresses. Watch 43 too far inside, and then he has a bad angle and now has to just try and put his shoulder into Morrow instead of trying to wrap him up. He doesn't have the angle to do it. And off to the house goes 2-5.
I got y'all boys. Come on, bro. Hey, y'all keep doing y'all thing. Hey, Mama, Pop, I love y'all, Isaiah. I see y'all watching. Hey, go cool, you did.
He took one back off a missed field goal that was called back on a penalty. But he's had a massive impact in this game so far. This will be taken at the 10. Moxie staying on his feet and eventually is hammered down inside the Calgary 30. Bo Levi Mitchell, 5 of 8 for 25 yards and an interception. Have another crack at it right here. What have you thought so far?
Well, turnovers have been a big part of this story, and can Bo Levi Mitchell aim small, miss small? That's one thing that Matt Dunnigan and I always talk about for quarterbacks. If you aim at the body, you can miss by 2 or 3 feet. If you aim for, say, the top of his number or his right eyeball, you only miss by 2 or 3 inches. So Jason Shiver's got him thinking right now, but Bo Levi Mitchell and the quarterback's got to aim small, miss small.
They'll hand it off to Carey. Carey's got a big burst to the far side of the field. Takes it outside the 40 before Lacey was able to track him down, but that's a first down and a nice response of 14 yards from the Stampeders.
Yeah, and that's staying consistent. That is staying consistent, running behind that offensive line. Kadeem Carey out to the left. Sean McEwen pulling out with him, setting up a nice run off the left side of that offensive line.
52 yards already on the ground today for Kadeem Carey. About 6.5 minutes to play in the first half of Mosaic. Home side on top, 10-7. Back into the belly of Carey again. Got a block. It opened him up. He'll take it out to the Calgary 50. Another good first down push from Carey.
Let's go back to that previous run, the 19-yarder, and watch the center, Sean McEwen, get out and pull around this run to get outside. It's hard to snap the ball, make it accurate, get outside, and he got the key block on Ed Gainey to spring Kadeem Carey on that left side run. That's a good start to the drive, and a second run gets Bo Levi Mitchell into a manageable situation.
McEwen was the Calgary nominee for most outstanding lineman. And second time he's been a West All-Star as well. Mitchell dumps it off. Milanovic-Litre takes it, stays on his feet, rumbles all the way down inside the Rider 45. The first touch of the day for Ante Milanovic-Litre. Goes for 16 yards.
This one is in the category of tackling. You get Litre out of the backfield. He just lowers his shoulder. He's just bullying a couple of DBs there. Get out of my way. Big
like Marshall tried to strip him and he wasn't having it. That ball was well protected. Wasn't going anywhere. First and 10 now on the 44. Mitchell dumps it off. Gets it into the hands of Begelton for the first time today, and it'll be a short pickup on first down, but good to see Reggie Begelton and finally involved in this Calgary offense.
Well, Calgary in field goal range now. Obviously, would love a lot more than that, but certainly in Rennie Paredes's range right now. But a play where, with the way the run game has been going for Calgary, they could go run on 2nd and 7.
From the 41. 4 receivers to the wide side left for Mitchell. That's where he looks. That's where he goes, and it's batted down at the line. A.C. Leonard got a hand on it. That brings up 3rd down.
Boy, Leonard's had such a great season. He had his issue with the 2-game suspension. Long story, I'm sure everyone's heard, but this is just a huge play in a playoff game. Come off the edge, athletically read the play, see what he wants to do in Mitchell with that quick release on just the hot route and get the throwing lane.
Read the play well, was moving to his right, and then had to reach back with his left hand to knock it down. Nice athletic play from A.C. Leonard. 3rd knockdown of the season for him to go along with those 11 sacks, which leads the league. And now Calgary will punt this away as opposed to go for the long field goal attempt. And this kick will bounce and trickle into the end zone, where it is taken on the knee there by Morrow. So Paredes could have taken a crack at that one, but they decide to kick it away. It's time to go back to where no one has gone before. Star Trek Discovery, all new. Thursday, 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock Pacific on CTV Sci-Fi Channel. Now streaming on Crave as well.
I'm almost ready to engage with Star Trek again. It took me a while to,
What did it do to you?
Well, Captain Kirk, William Shatner. Once he went to space for real, I thought, okay.
Did you watch the new movies with Chris Pine?
Oh, awesome.
Chris Pine's great. Those are great movies. First and 10, of course, with this ball on the 35 for Fajardo. 10-8. Dumps it up underneath. Got it into into the hands of Powell once again. And he is stopped after a pretty good pickup on first down. A little creativity from Fajardo and Jason Moss.
Tonight, William Powell, though, he's not allowing his feet to go silent. He's not allowing them to die. He's keeping the feet chugging, keep running. This is another different look to fake it to him and then give it back to him on that underhand throw shovel pass. But the feet keep churning, keep churning, keep churning. No matter what contact he's faced at the line of scrimmage, he keeps those legs chugging.
Offense has been a steady diet of William Powell so far for Fajardo. Right back to him again. This time, avoids one tackle, could not avoid the second, as Jamar Wall got down there to finish him off after it was Mike Rose that slowed him up. And for the first time in a while here, Calgary's able to slow down William Powell, who's got 11 carries for 53 yards. He's got a couple of catches for 16 yards as well. But this time, first it was Rose, finished by Wall. Riders on top, 10-8.
Coming up at half, they don't trust us, so we're going to send it to the professionals in Regina. James Duthie and Jim Barker. Jim, Milt's been trying to call you for the last 10 minutes. Coach, Jim, if you're listening, please pick up the phone. Milt's pretty sad. Please.
Ignoring calls from Milt Stiegel? I would never. Great coverage coming up here at halftime, and a good finish to the opening half. Likely on the way here. 3 minutes to play. Redvik set to kick it away from just inside his own 30. Begelton awaiting it. Towering kick. Begelton slides over, takes it at the 28. 41-yard kick. Begelton now back up close to the 40 before he is taken down heavily by Jake Hardy. Levi Mitchell still trying to get this offense going. 7 of 11 for 44 so far.
Good covered teams there. Good covered lanes there for Saskatchewan, and Jake Hardy has to fight off a block, stay in his lane until the ball carrier gets to level, and then cut in there and make a nice tackle on Bagel.
Calgary does have the touchdown in this game on offense, but it was a drive that started at the Rider 5 after an interception by Jonathan Moxley. Empty backfield for Mitchell this time. Has time. Down the field, and that's going to be picked off. Are you kidding me? How about that? Ed Gainey slides over for his second interception of the game.
Well, I'm not sure what the guys at halftime are going to talk about, but is it time to bring it up? Is Bo Levi Mitchell just not seeing it? I mean, this is an overthrow, and it looks like it is either a mistake in communication between quarterback and receiver, or just a straight overthrow. But Bo Levi Mitchell's receiver did not have a chance on this throw. It was well overthrown, almost like he felt like he was going to a different spot. That was Kadeem Carey out of the backfield, and by that reaction, he must have ran the wrong route. And if that's the case, then we probably do see Mitchell again. But if it's, man, it's hard to think about, but you wouldn't have said that in any of the games or years for Bo Levi Mitchell in his career. But the way it's gone for him at times this year, and with Jake Mayer on the sideline, and what he's done this season as a backup, I don't know. Do you bring up the question?
Well, the question's fine. I'd be pretty surprised if they do it. But Mayer, in 3 games he started, he threw for 300 yards, came in against Winnipeg,
and beat him.
So, I mean, it certainly would be an option. I doubt it happens. Here's Fajardo with some time. Now Fajardo, is he going to take off with this one? He does. Cody Fajardo staying on his feet. Fajardo down inside the 50 for a first down for the Riders. And there's Cody Fajardo going to work.
Yeah, they use their legs differently. We talked about it the pregame show that both these quarterbacks will use their legs, but very differently. For Cody Fajardo, his #1 goal and objective when he takes off is to get to the first down marker running the football. Bo will not run, but Cody loves to. Not better or worse, just different.
1st and 10 on the Calgary 49. Nowhere to go on that one, as Sean Lemon in the face of Shaq Evans. As soon as he got that ball, it was lights out
So young guys, young defensive ends, amateur football defensive ends that are playing, if you do your responsibility first and let the play come to you, this will happen. Sean Lemon's responsibility was contained, so he went up the field. He didn't get fooled by that play-action movement. He got up the field and was right there when the play came to him.
A loss of 4 yards sets up 2nd and 14. Fajardo has another one picked off, and it's Moxie again. Come on, get out of here. Moxie with his 3rd interception of the half. And he goes back on top of Ed Gainey, who's only got 2.
Well, this one, again, it looks to me like Cody is really locked in to that side of the field. I mean, locked into a hard look to Moxie over on that side. Now, here's the route. Paul McRoberts with a little curl. But it's almost like Moxie was just reading the throwing motion of Cody Fajardo, not even worried in that zone look about the receiver running the curl in front of him.
Strange things are afoot at Mosaic on this Sunday. Mitchell has a completion this time. Purifoy is there. And will eventually throw Punchak down. They'll get about half of what they needed. 1:52 remaining in the first half of football. And we've seen a little bit of everything.
This is a defensive back's dream game if you're Jonathan Moxie. My goodness. 3 picks in the first half.
The quarterbacks have combined for 15 completed passes, 5 interceptions. Defensive players coming to play. 2nd and 5 for Mitchell. 4 receivers out to his right. Dumps it off, and that one will be complete. He got it to Markeith Ambles. Ambles forced out of bounds by Gainey, but not before he moves that ball onto the Riders' side of the field and takes it down inside the 45. An 18-yard pickup for Ambles.
Well, I didn't catch the number live, but Ambles had the nice blocking in front of him. I think it was a receiver out there. Ambles will go out to this screen. He started in the backfield, and right in front of him is Bagleton, the big block to spring him to the outside in the first down mark.
Calgary creeping back towards field goal range for Paredes. Buck 28 on the clock in the quarter. Carey underneath. Makes a nice move. Stays on his feet. Works it down close towards the Riders. 35.
Play calling right now to settle his quarterback down. Settle both quarterbacks down. I'm sure it will be both. We'll see Jason Moss as well. Dave Dickinson calling screens, back-to-back screens. Get a quarterback back in a rhythm, back in a comfort zone. Real high percentage throws, just drop it off on the screens. Let the other guys do the heavy lifting.
2nd and 5 on the 37. Just over a minute to play. Mitchell with pressure coming. Sees it, drops it off to Ambles again. Spins, finally tripped down by Gainey, but he's got another first down, a big half. 4th catch of the game for Markeith Ambles.
Yeah, as soon as you start to bring pressure, and that's coming from that side, you bring pressure. Bo Levi Mitchell knows that that's going to be the void in the zone. There's the void right there. That's where the pressure came from. Where does he have to get to? That spot.
On the 28, Mitchell with some time to his right. That one incomplete. He was looking for Ambles once again, went up and could not haul it in, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10 with 47 seconds on the clock.
Well, lots of time for Calgary to look to the major. Their first goal, though, has to be the 10 yards in front of them because they need a new set of downs. They've got lots of time and probably 5-6 plays. But this is 2nd down, 2nd and 10. This is a key moment. Turn up the volume. Mosaic Stadium, that's what they do.
6th play of the drive for Mitchell. Has time, a lot of time, to the end zone, almost picked off by Gainey.
Oh, man.
That would have been insane as it falls incomplete.
He slowed down as he broke on that, and again, Mitchell misses high. Looked like he had his target. He was trying to float it in there to Ambles. See, Amble's going to get passed off. This is a zone look, so Nick Marshall passes it off, and Ed Gainey, who hesitated just for a second.
Wow. Can you imagine that if he would have called in his third? I might have passed out. Paredes from 35 straight away, and that's wide right. Oh my goodness. And it's brought back out. And a late flag for a hit after Morrow was already down. Paredes 0 for 2. This one straight away from 35.
Well, this one really is just, he makes this kick in his sleep. How he missed this, I'm not sure, but.
You know what's strange is, I mean, the guy's automatic. He's one of the best ever to do it. But in his last 3 playoff games, he's 0 for 2.
After the play,
and today he's 0 for 2.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Calgary, number 61. 15-yard penalty, Saskatchewan, first down.
You know, and what's interesting is he only had 4 misses in the regular season, but 2 of the 4 were against Saskatchewan. So maybe it's just in his head, but the hold was bang on, right on the tee, good angle on the ball, and just pushed it wide right.
I think Dave's even thinking, what's going on? I mean, Paredes usually has things on lockdown. And now he's missed his last 4 playoff field goals in a row.
Well, listen, both kickers have been money all season. Both quarterbacks have been great, and both have thrown a ton of interceptions. We've seen a couple of misses. They'll go calm down and settle down at halftime.
I don't think anybody would have saw this first half coming. Hey, Paredes misses a couple. You get 3 interceptions by Moxie, 2 by Gainey. Fajardo's thrown 3 interceptions. He's got a lead with 26 seconds remaining in the second quarter. 2nd and 4 here now for Fajardo. And he will step up and take a knee here on his own 24, and the Riders would be more than happy to head into the room with a lead, considering the turnover situation in this game. Lemon making a move at him there with 3 seconds on the clock. What an interesting first half. We've done a lot of games together. I don't remember a first half like this one this season.
And both coaches go to their quarterbacks with a color chart.
Here's what's happening. I mean, the thing is that these 2 teams have played close games all season, and at the end, no matter how we got there, it's a close game once again, and a little bit of pushing and shoving here that'll be separated by the officials. And Lemon on Duke Williams. Sean Lemon just punched Duke Williams in the head, and that could be big news heading into halftime. What was he thinking? Duke Williams in his face, and Lemon popped him, and now we've got more pushing and shoving in multiple locations on the field. Here's a look right there. Boom.
Official right there. I mean, that may be a disqualification.
They're going to have some time to think about it. It looks as though cooler heads have prevailed here at Mosaic. But if you're not around for the second half, you must have a pretty darn good excuse, because this is going to be a good finish to this ball game. Both teams frustrated, fired up, and right in the thick of it, no doubt about that. Cody Fajardo, 3 interceptions. Bo Levi Mitchell with 2 as well. The Stampeders heckled by the crowd at Mosaic as they walk off to the room at halftime. A little bit of everything here, Glenn. You don't like to see this?
Well, you don't. You don't. And, you know, hoping that it isn't a disqualification, but it may be.
Very well could be, right?
Very well could be.
At the end of the half, we have rough play, disqualification, Calgary, number 40. Calgary, number 40 is disqualified. The 25 yards will be applied on the opening kickoff of the second half.
Wow. Huge swing after the whistle at halftime. Unacceptable for Sean Lemon, I'm sure. Let's send it over to James Duffy here in Regina. All right, thank you, Dustin. With the coach, Jim Barker, we'll get to Kate Burness in the panel in just a couple of minutes. First, how horrible a mistake is that by Sean Lemon in that kind of situation in a tight game going to the half?
Well, it's obviously, it's just, he's a veteran player. He's got to understand the gravity of the situation. Hitting a guy with a helmet on, you're not going to get anything out of it except trouble. And now he's out of the half. He's one of their key pass rushers. And that's just, and again, 25 yards at the kickoff. So
just a crazy half of football. We only usually have one TSN turning point per game, copyright. There was about 6 in that half, and we're going to focus on 2, all because of the brilliance of Jamal Morrow. Let's start with the one that didn't count. I want you to tell me what you think of the penalty, the illegal block. Legit or no?
I don't believe it was a penalty. I thought he was actually stayed up. He never used his hands. He runs along the side of the kicker, and the kicker fell down. Again, I don't know. I just don't see that as a penalty. We talked about a quick start. This would have given Saskatchewan all the momentum. It turned into a 14-point switch. They call that penalty. Now we come back. Cody throws an interception. They get the ball on the 5, and on the first play, they score. So we're talking about a complete change from a quick start to you know, now you're behind 7-0 and you're battling, and
right.
You know,
and it's all Cody talked about yesterday too, was we can't get off to another slow start. But they recover. A couple things happen. Dickinson with a questionable challenge flag that you didn't like, and then a couple of series later, it's Morrow again. And what does a special teams touchdown mean to a team at home when your offense is struggling a bit?
Well, it means everything. Special block punts, special teams returns, those mean everything. And he sheds a tackle there, and he's just gone. Craig Dickinson, remember, is one of the best special teams coaches this league has seen. In my 22 years up here, Craig Dickinson just gets it. He understands how to get special teams to play well. That play is huge. Gives them the lead, and then Paredes misses 2 field goals. Yeah. So is this great football, or is this bad football? It's
entertaining football, but yeah.
It is entertaining, and that's what it's all about. What an entertaining half. I can't wait for the second half kickoff.
And I suppose, Kate, we should have expected this when all the games were close all year long for it to be really tight again. Moxie and Morrow, the story at the half, Kate.
You know what I expected, James? That much entertainment from the coach, Jim Barker. We miss you here, Coach, alongside David Sanchez, Matt Dunnigan, and Milt Stegall. And look, it was entertaining, but my goodness, at times, that was so incredibly sloppy. 5 interceptions between the 2 QBs. And, Matty, let us start with the Stampeders. And just miscue after miscue at points in this first half.
Yeah, and things that you're just not accustomed to seeing from Bo Levi Mitchell. 15 interceptions a year, 8 of them against the Saskatchewan Roughriders now. And this one here is turnover on downs. That's just good, solid football play here. And the Mayor's trying to get home, and they denied him right there. And that's first turnover. Then here, Bo, on the run, look at his ball's way out, one arm, not 2 hands. He loses his trajectory, and Ed Gainey says, thank you very much. Just, you can't do that, Bo. Get some ball security there and create it with 2 hands and let her go. And then here, another errant throw off his back foot, slinging it, and he can't believe it himself. And I think the entire Calgary Stampeder football team is scratching their heads right now. This is not good football. This is poor football. And it's anybody's game right now, and that's the only thing you can say right there. You got 30 minutes left. Let's go back out there and try to clean things up.
And not only Bo, but both of these quarterbacks been playing some bad
down
football.
Here like this, Milt.
Just horrible. And Bo Levi Mitchell, I thought he would eventually come out of this funk at one point of this year, but it hadn't happened. And Cody Fajardo, the same way. You know, this first half has been some poor quarterback play. And the one good thing for Cody is his backup doesn't have any experience, so they can't think about taking him out right now. But for Bo, we've seen his backup, and I guarantee you, there's a lot of fans in Calgary right now saying, okay, we'll let him Bo come out in this second half and see what he can do. But if not, it may be time to make a change, because there's no tomorrow. There's no saying we can get him next week. They have to win this game to advance to the finals next week against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
A young coach, one that's not secure in his job, I think would be hesitant if he wanted to make a change in this position. You look at the legacy of Bo Levi Mitchell, you look at the greatness of Bo Levi Mitchell, I would tell you this. I know Dave. He's a teammate of mine. I've been around him enough. He's a logical thinker. He's not worried about that, and he's also not worried. If he thinks it's the right thing to do, he will. If he thinks it's the right thing to do, he will.
Do you think it's the right thing to do?
I would give Mayer. I maybe start Bo in the third quarter, see if he gets it going. If he doesn't, I might throw Mayer in, not for the rest of the game, but give him some series, see if he can get it going.
Yeah.
Why not?
I've been pulling Grey Cups, guys. This is winner take all.
Right.
It's not Bo's half here. And you know what you have in Jake. I'd throw him out there. I would throw him out there.
All right, 8-10 for the Riders currently. Don't go anywhere. We got highlights from the East semifinal coming up next.
A beautiful late November day in Regina sets the stage for what should be a thriller this afternoon. The throws to his left, intercepted just inside the 20. Carey picking his way towards the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown, Calgary on the run. Over the top, picked off. Getting underneath it is Edgini. Here goes the ball back. Down to the 30. Will they catch him? He gets to the 20, to the 10, and all the way to the house.
The 108th Grey Cup is coming to Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton. Tickets are on sale now. Visit Ticketmaster.ca/Grey Cup to purchase and join in on the excitement.
All right, as promised, your East semifinal highlights on Monday. Montreal's Patrick Levels guaranteed a victory before the game. Levels letting the Cat fans hear it. Second quarter action we go. Levels in coverage against Brandon Banks. Banks gets open. Jeremiah Masoli finds him for the touchdown. After guaranteeing the victory, Levels allows his man to catch the first touchdown of the game. Banks giving Levels an earful at this point. It's 7-3 Hamilton. Later in the corner we go. Don Jackson taking the handoff. He's going to plow his way into the end zone. Hamilton outscores Montreal 20-0 in the second quarter. Tiger Cats up by 17 at the half. Owls looking for a little spark over in the third. Harris airs it out to Gino Lewis. Lewis comes down with it, and all of a sudden the deficit cut to just 10. Fourth quarter action, Montreal now down by 13, facing third and goal with less than 2 minutes to go. Harris looking for Quan Bray, but he can't make the grab. Montreal turns it over on downs. Despite that guarantee, the Alouettes not able to beat the Tiger Cats. 23-12, your final. The Tiger Cats will be off to Toronto to face the Argos in the East final. And now we need to figure out who's going to go to the West final to take on the Bombers. 10-8, Riders at the half. Taking a look at your first half stats, David Sanchez.
A lot of conversation about the interceptions thrown by these quarterbacks, but what about these defensive backs catching footballs? No drop to INTs, 3 picks from Moxie, 2 from Ed Gainey. The only one to have more picks in a Regina playoff game, I believe my statisticians telling me, is Glenn Suter.
Ooh, I like it. Dropping facts. All right, here's Sarah Oleski with Ed Gainey.
And the fact that there's just 2 points separating these two teams, I don't think maybe comes as a surprise. That first half, though, I don't think anyone saw coming. How would you describe it?
Just like I thought it'd be. I just knew that today was going to be a game of, emotions, a lot of emotions flying. They're in a hostile environment, and the 13th man, the fans, the crowd, they helping us keep the energy in here.
Defensive back certainly making the highlight reels on both sides for yourself. 2 picks in that first half. What is it that you guys have been able to do to keep Bo Levi Mitchell from getting into any sort of rhythm?
We just sticking to our game plan. Like I was telling the media yesterday, we know how they're going to come out and try to attack us. They've been getting some plays off. They've been getting some plays going, but at the end of the day, we just bend but don't break, and, continue to rally behind each other and have each other's backs.
Thanks so much, Ed. Appreciate it.
Go after Dane or
Ed Gainey and the Riders currently up 10-8 after the first half. Back to Regina for second half action with Dustin and Glenn after this.
As the sun sets here at Mosaic, we are in for an excellent second half. Let's send it down to Sarah Orlesk.
Okay, Jonathan, I have to ask. 3 interceptions, not just in a game, in a first half. When was the last time you've put up numbers like that?
Ooh, I ain't had like multiple pick games since high school, so definitely got to get out there and do that for my team. We got to get out there. You see, we got to battle back right now, so that's all we focused on.
What was talked about at the half?
Basically, you know, we got guys on the other team, they trying to taunt us, trying to get us to feed into the nonsense at the end. Had one of our guys get spit on, he retaliated, got kicked out the game. So we just got to know that they can't beat us on the field, so they're trying to beat us after the play. We just got to be smart and stay away from the nonsense.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Sound logic.
Wow, well-spoken corner for the Calgary Stampeders with 3 picks. By the way, the offensive guys on the panel, Matt Dunnigan and Milt Stiegel, saying that it's sloppy because there's interceptions. Hold on just 1 second.
Defenses can play good too, right?
It's great defensive back play. That's what's going on here tonight.
The Riders with the lead, 10-8. And if you missed it right at the end of the first half, Sean Lemon was ejected from this game. And
going onside kick.
25-yard penalty as well. And the Riders are going to attempt an onside kick to start the half. Why not? Go throw this one. Oh, brought in! A.C. Leonard, come on! That's how the half is going to start. A.C. Leonard recovering an onside kick, and we're underway.
What a decision by Craig Dickinson to decide to take an end of the field, knowing Calgary would take the ball, but with the 25-yard penalty from the end of the first half with Sean Lemon, they get the great field position. So an onside kick, even if you miss it, you put your defense out in Calgary's end of the field. If you don't, you get the ball back to start the second half in another possession. A big play there by A.C. Leonard to climb the ladder and rip it down.
Huge call, great execution. Leonard comes up with it. Fajardo's in business, rolls out to his right, has a ton of room, cuts back inside. Fajardo right up the middle of the field, slides it down inside the 20. And what a start for the Riders.
Boy, this is the best tackler in the Canadian Football League this year in Darnell Sankey. But when you get out in space and Cody Fajardo has you in space, that little pump fake can freeze you just enough. Look at the cutback on Sankey, and he is frozen. 19-yard gain by the quarterback.
1st and 10 now with that ball on the Calgary 20. Fajardo keeps it, comes it to Williams. Williams stays on his feet, pushes it down close to the 5 before he is stopped. Duke Williams, who had just 1 catch for 8 yards in the first half, gets 14 here.
And I'm going to quote Duke. I want to quote Duke Williams because he says, you know, in this game, you got to have some dog in you. You got to have dog in you. And this is Duke Williams showing you what that dog means. 5 yards after the catch. Breaking some tackles.
1st and goal from the Calgary 6 for Fajardo. 3 receivers out to the left. That's where he's going to look first. Fajardo with time. Fajardo to the end zone. He's got a touchdown as he guns it into the hands of Keane Schaefer-Baker. Mosaic absolutely loving the start to the 3rd quarter.
Put aside your beverage. Here comes the ball. You got to make it. Catch it with 2 hands. Keane Schaefer-Baker comes all the way back and then crosses the plane. But how about the time Cody Fajardo had to stand in there, go to the right side of the formation first, work his progressions all the way back to the wide side to Schaefer-Baker. Touchdown, Saskatchewan.
Lother, the extra points, and the lead is now 17-8. Schaefer-Baker with a couple of touchdowns in the regular season. He's got his first in the playoffs right here, and an excellent start to the second half for the Riders.
To love the decision with the 25-yard penalty. He had the choice in the second half and elected to kick off, which would initially surprise you, but the reason for it was that onside recovered by A.C. Leonard, a 19-yard run after that onside recovery for Cody Fajardo, and then Schaefer Baker, the playmaker, on the outside for the touchdown.
All in less than 2 minutes. And all of a sudden, the Riders have a 9-point lead. On the return, this is brought all the way back out by Moxie. Almost returned it to the 35, and now Calgary will get the ball on offense for the first time in the half. Bo Levi Mitchell, 11 of 18 for 81 yards and 2 interceptions in the opening half of the game.
Now, I threw up that question going in at half, but this is not a surprise at all. They're going to go with Mitchell in the second half. When you think of the two interceptions, one went off the hands of a receiver, and the other, a receiver, and Kadeem Carey ran the wrong route, it looked like.
Starting at his own 34, they'll hand it off to Carey, and Carey really with nowhere to go after a pretty good first half. He had 10 carries for 59 yards and a touchdown in the first half of this game, but he's gang tackled there by the Riders.
Well, this is a big down. I know it's early in the second half, but this is a big down to try and stop some momentum. Even a couple of first downs for Calgary is so important right now because this fan base is now behind them. The volume's up, and Saskatchewan feeling it after the start to the second half that they've had. This is a big down in the game right here.
Second and 8 with the ball on his own 36. 3 receivers to his left. 3 more now to his right. He looks down the field. He's got Beggleton wide open. Beggleton will take it down inside the 40, and eventually Jeremy Clark is able to slow him down. But Beggleton wide open down the field for 41 yards. Biggest play of the game from Bo Levi Mitchell.
And I'll show you, this is the route, but it's a 2-look for Saskatchewan. 2 deep defensive zone look where they're going to drop 2 guys deep, and those 2 guys have to split the field in half. And when you have one on the seam and one on the corner, you're in big trouble. Which one do you pick?
Well, Clark and Webb have been so good since coming in for the Riders this season. They get caught there, and Bo Levi Mitchell makes them pay. Now he goes right back to Carey, right up the middle, takes it down inside the Rider 30 before he is wrapped up. And some nice momentum here for Calgary, trying to silence the crowd at Mosaic.
And that was a monster play. That was a big play. Now Jason Shivers, his next goal now is to try and hold Calgary to a field goal attempt. But that play on the corner route to Beggleton, huge for Calgary.
Second and 5 for Bo. Takes the handoff, now comes over the middle. He's got another completion. Marquise Ambles inside the 15, and a fresh set of downs as they work inside the red zone. Here does Calgary.
Well, I tell you what, that was Mitchell threading the needle here. Blitz coming, so he knows he doesn't have a whole lot of time, although the offensive line did a pretty good job, but that was in a tight window. Ambles right where he needed to be when he needed to be there.
12 yards for Ambles. He's got 54 on 5 catches in the game tonight. First and 10 from the Rider 12. Mitchell, a ton of time. Now he's going to be pressured finally, and they get home. Tracking him down, it's Jonathan Woodard.
There was a Calgary Stampeder receiver that was trying to run a corner route, and I think he was the target. It looked like it was Colton Hunchak, and he's running a corner, and he goes down on his break, and that's the guy that Mitchell was trying to throw it to. Hunchak is right here, and he's going to run a corner route, but watch when he gets on his break. Number 89 goes down. Now Mitchell's looking for him. He thinks that's going to be the guy. He's the open guy because the open area is that corner, and he goes down, so Mitchell has to eat it.
Had the time, and then right when he was about to throw it, and good thing he didn't, because Hunchak was never going to be able to make a play on it. He is down now, and they are getting a look at Colton Hunchak, who just came up lame there.
But that tells you the exact read. I mean, for Mitchell, this was about the exactly where he wanted to go. He had 3 receivers to the wide side, and that corner route, he was just going to throw it to the opening. And as soon as his receiver went down, he went, well, that's it. Play's over. Just don't want to lose the football here.
Woodard, a remarkable season, his first with the Riders. Didn't get an all-star nod, but had 10 sacks during the regular season. And looks as though Hunchak is able to get up, and he will be helped off the field. And it is now a 2nd and 19, so they had all this momentum. Probably would have had a good shot at Hunchak in the corner. And instead, you're sitting 2nd and 19, trying to keep this good drive alive.
I think the guy who will replace Colton Hunchak is Luther Akunavanu, who is a newcomer to Calgary, but a big play guy and just limited action.
2 touchdowns on the season, had a big one last week against the Bombers. Now backed up to the Rider 21. Mitchell, Carey had to go up and get it, stumbles, falls, and will eventually be tackled at the 20. And Calgary will have to settle for a Paredes field goal attempt.
Boy, did Mitchell just, it looked like he wanted to throw something else, and in the middle of the throwing motion, he bends it around to get it to Kadeem Carey on the swing route that just ended up being a little high throw, but a lot of yards to make up anyway, and certainly Bo did not want to throw an interception down there.
They'll take the 3 points, but it's been a weird night for Paredes. He's missed both he's attempted so far. This one from 28 on the left hash, and it is good. Paredes now 1 for 3, gets his team on the board here in the 2nd half, but they trail by 6. Well, one of the big stories in this game has been the play of cornerback Jonathan Moxey. There's the first of 3 interceptions in this game of Cody Fajardo.
And for all you offensive players out here watching, that's not sloppy. That's aggressive corner play by Jonathan Moxey, who's got 3 in the first half. And aggressively playing those intermediate routes.
Had a couple in the regular season, led the team. They only had 6 interceptions in the entire regular season. Fajardo brings down that snap, and there's nowhere to go for Powell. It looked like he was looking around trying to find a hole, but there is no hole to be had that time. That'll bring up a 2nd and long for Fajardo.
You know, when you talk about those interceptions, those are intermediate routes by Jonathan Moxey. He played so aggressively. You know, the next progression for an offensive player like Shaq Evans or Duke Williams is to run that slant and go, or what Saskatchewan calls sluggo. So you run the slant and then you hit it straight up the seam and see if he's going to continue to play that aggressively.
2nd and 10 on the 35. Fajardo, far side of the field, has a man wide open. It's Powell again, trying to make something out of nothing, and he is stopped a couple yards short of the first down, and they'll be forced to kick this away with just under 8 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter.
And there's Darnell Sankey back in form. Remember that one in the open field where there was about 30 yards on each side of him, and Cody Fajardo in a one-on-one. Cody won that one, but not that time. Darnell Sankey, he gets the win against William Powell.
3rd 2 and out of the game for the Riders. Vedvik pounds this away from his own 30. Begelton will take it. Holds his off his head at the 25, and everybody jumps on it just inside the 35. Who's got it? Reggie Begelton couldn't bring it in cleanly. And a big call on the way here. And is it Rider ball? It sure looks like it. Yes, it is. A Begelton turnover. Saskatchewan back in business. The Riders benefiting from the bounce off of Begelton, and they'll have the ball in Calgary territory when we return. Pete Robertson, the rider who was able to get on top of this ball. Begelton tried to lunge back up and grab it, but he could not. Begelton, who's back here with Calgary, thrust into these return rolls here today, and that one just missed it.
Big yard pickup for Fajardo. Another good play on the team for Saskatchewan. This is a three-phase game, especially in Canada, and the special teams so important in the return game and your coverage teams, and right now Saskatchewan is winning that phase.
Bain injured, Henry not available, and it is led to Begelton being put in that spot. There's a flag here at the 30 as Powell moves it ahead for a first down. Well, this looks like it'll be a hold against the Riders.
Holding, Saskatchewan, number 68. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Brett Boyko, the guilty party. That'll back them up for second down here. 2nd and 12.
Take a look at big 68 on the running play. Down block.
Just enough on Berglund to open up that hole.
Marginal.
2nd and 12 now for Fajardo. Flushed out to his right. Staying on his feet, now throws it away, and that'll bounce incomplete in the direction of William Powell. But a nice job there to make sure Fajardo couldn't turn that upfield by Orimolade.
Orimolade is playing for Sean Lemon, who was disqualified just at the half. So we'll see him at defensive end, and a great play to contain Cody Fajardo there. Now, that was the decision that Cody had to make in that case, because again, in field goal range, Brett Lowther's been great this year. Make it a 2-possession game.
43-yard attempt from straight away for Lowther. And that one off the upright. Off the upright to the right. Lowther unable to capitalize. As an interesting night gets a little bit crazier here at Mosaic. 43-yard attempt for Lowther.
And you don't get a point when it hits the upright. No points allotted. That's it. Still a 6-point game.
Another all-star season in the West for Micah Johnson. For more on his year, let's send it down to Sarah Orleski.
Yeah, that's the 4th time that he's been named a West CFL All-Star. Going for his 3rd Grey Cup, wanting to get there this season with the Riders, but what a tumultuous time for him, coming in with a heavy heart right now. Micah's father passed away a couple of weeks ago. Nathaniel Johnson Jr. passing away from cancer came, though, as a shock to the family and devastating. A man that Micah described as being his best friend. He said that he wants to model himself after the way that his father did. But his dad, a huge football fan, they talked about it all the time. He was always watching CFL games. Micah said that he knew everybody that played in the league. It's hard to believe that he wouldn't be watching this game here, but Micah believes he's watching him from above. Our condolences to the entire family.
And he raised a heck of a guy, because our dealing with Micah Johnson has never been anything but great. There's a handoff to Carey, and it's going to go for a big one as he's tripped up. Falls at the 40 after a 15-yard pickup.
And Micah will be resting here. It's a normal rotation for Craig Dickinson to bring in different defensive linemen. He's dressed upwards of 9 at times throughout the season to make sure they stay fresh. But another great year, all-star year for Micah Johnson.
Career high 8 tackles for losses this year for Johnson. Watching on now. Carey's got 81 yards on 13 attempts. They'll go back to him again. This time he's wrapped up and hammered down. Nigel Harris started it, got some help from Pete Robertson to finish it.
Now, the last time that Bo Levi Mitchell was in 2nd and long like this, Saskatchewan went to that 2-deep zone, and they hit the corner to Begelton. What does Jason Shivers have dialed up for Dave Dickinson, the play caller on the other sideline, in this 2nd and long in a 1-possession game?
Inside 5 minutes on the clock in the 3rd quarter. Thank you very much for joining us. CFL playoff action from Regina. Mitchell, far side, has a man wide open. That is caught. Amble steps out of bounds. First down and a late flag on the far side of the field. And did he take a shot as he headed out of bounds?
Was that Nick Marshall to the wide side?
After the play, major foul, unnecessary roughness, Saskatchewan, number 3. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Been a bit of an issue for Marshall this season. Think back to that last game of the regular season for Saskatchewan. Hamilton was just kneeling and he took a penalty late there, and discipline has been a bit of an issue for the all-star corner. Didn't make the all-star team this year.
Penalties have been an issue all season for the Riders. 148 penalties coming into this game. Dickinson says he has some solutions, but he'll have to wait to the offseason. Now here's a ball that is gunned in there. That's a tight window, but Bagleton is able to haul it in at the Rider 30. Wow, what a catch.
Well, they had Nick Marshall, Saskatchewan, on the outside in, breaking on this Bagleton catch, and from the inside out, I believe it was Micah Tights, and you're right, the timing has to be bang on here from Mitchell to thread it in there. He's done it a couple of times tonight in this second half. He's got that scope zeroed in a little bit better than he did in the first half.
First and 10 from the Rider 30 for Bo Levi Mitchell. Pressure coming, sees it, drops it off to Carey. Carey gets a couple of blocks. Kadeem Carey's got a first down, and he's inside the 20 before he stops.
You know, the key on a play like this is the quarterback being patient. If he drops it to Carey too quickly here, then the defense doesn't buy into the screen. So he's got to retreat. Mitchell's got to retreat 3, 4, 5 steps, a couple of steamboats. Let Carey develop outside and the line get up the field and then drop it to him.
Over 100 yards of total offense for Carey. Won't get any more this time. Wrapped up by Micah Johnson.
Yeah, there you go. And then halfway through this rotation in this series, Craig Dickinson decides they need their all-star nose tackle in there again, because that's what he can do. He fights off the block, holds the blocker at bay with one arm, and then scrapes to the tackle to put Mitchell in second and long.
A loss of 1 makes it 2nd and 11 for Mitchell. Zay Crowd cranking it up a notch on this play. Mitchell looks to the right. That's where he's going to throw. Almost picked off, batted down. A.C. Leonard, the big fella, getting in front of that one.
How good is it at your defensive coordinator where you have a defensive lineman that stands 6'2", 250 pounds, but you can drop him into coverage. There's number 6 right in the middle of your screen. Drop him into coverage, and he can make that play on the ball. That's what Jason Shivers has in A.C. Leonard.
You can drop anyone into coverage, but for him to make a play on the ball like that, and he had a knockdown earlier in the game at the line, causing some issues as well. Actually, he does have an interception this season as well. Paredes out here to cut it to 3. And that one is good. And the nail biter we were all expecting has developed here in Regina. Craig Dickinson has his team on top, but it's about playoff victories. He's looking for his first. Here's what he had to say about that.
You're not hired to be a good regular season coach or a good regular season team. You're hired to win championships, and the only way you do that is win playoff games. So, you know, we're hired for a reason, and we have a responsibility and an obligation to win some playoff games. So we need to do our best to get that going soon.
He's been great in the regular season.
Yeah, and you know, for the players, you get paid to win. You don't get paid to play pro football. You get paid to win in pro football.
Fajardo, he'll be throwing here. He's got a completion out towards the 40 as he goes back to McRoberts.
Talk about that regular season. any head coach in Saskatchewan Roughrider history. Of course, the coach tied at the hip to his starting quarterback in Cody Fajardo, who was the first quarterback to win 20 games in Saskatchewan Roughrider history.
Fajardo, 2nd and 5 is what he faces right now. Looks to the right, has some room up the middle, and he's going to take advantage of that. Diving ahead. And he'll take it outside the 45, which is what he needed for a first down.
Yeah, he looks pre-snap for, I'm convinced of this, that he will look pre-snap for that soft spot, the bubble. Depending on how Calgary will line up and where that front four will line up, he'll see the soft spot before he gets the ball in his hands. Then in the back of his mind, he knows he has that run length. Or that he may have that run length.
On his own 47 now. Out to his running back, Powell. He had to turn around and catch that one, stumbled for maybe a short loss.
12 years with the Calgary Stampeders, Brent Monson, the defensive coordinator, wants his group to be fast, physical, with high effort. And he's getting that and has all year. Now, the way, if you're going to rush 4, that he can call up to stop that run by Fajardo is by twisting him up front. And then they're in lanes that Fajardo doesn't expect him to be in.
No bubble.
No bubble.
Bubble is gone. 2nd and 11 for Fajardo. 3, wide side to his left. Has some time, can't find anybody. Now he's going to be pressured. Fajardo on the run. Has Dupuis. Can he find him? He does. Dupuis got it down for a first down and more. Dupuis takes it down inside the 45. What a play by Cody Fajardo. That's a big one.
That's sandlot football by Cody Fajardo.
Make something happen. I'm not sure he drew this one up in the dirt, but it worked anyway. Fajardo on the run. Dupuis wide open down the field, and he found him. One of the biggest plays of the ball game. Riders still on offense when we return. Well, you shouldn't expect anything different. 17-14, the Riders lead. It's another close game between these two clubs. What jumps off the page for you here, Glenn?
Yeah, this again, we're going to go right down to the wire in this one here early in this evening. Well, the turnovers they've settled that down a little bit. You know, I like Cody Fajardo just making things up as he went along on that last play, because Darnell Sankey was spying him. And when you're spying the quarterback, he takes away that run lane when he wants to run between the tackles. So that's just creating after the fact for Cody Fajardo on that last one. A big key first down.
Both running backs heavily involved in this game. Kadeem Carey over 100 yards of total offense so far. One of the biggest plays of the game as we wrapped up that third quarter. Fajardo on the run, and Dupuis went downfield, found some space, and Cody was able to find him. And now his team creeps towards field goal range for Lothar. 17-14, the Riders lead. Handed off, nowhere to go for Powell. The Riders are 8-0 when leading after 3 quarters this season.
Well, let's go back to that first down. There's Sankey right there beside the goalpost on your shot, and this is that play where Fajardo makes it up. You see, Sankey's not rushing. He's just sitting there waiting for Fajardo to run. So now Fajardo's got to say, okay, I don't have the inside run lanes because their middle linebacker took that away. I got to buy some time and hope a receiver opens up. It was a 23-yard gain and a new set of downs.
2nd and 11 for Fajardo this time. Steps up in the pocket. Now he's going to take off again. Thought about throwing a nice little fake. Fajardo takes it down to the 25. Brilliance from Cody Fajardo on that run. 18 yards for number 7.
No spy on this play for Cody Fajardo. This time they're going to take Darnell Sankey and drop him out. And when they drop him out into coverage, now Fajardo does have that soft spot in the defensive line to go ahead and take off and run between the tackles. And that pump fake gets Trey Roberson.
Roberson had a crack at him, and that little pump fake threw him for a loop. Here's Fajardo, pressure right up the middle, dumps it off to Powell. Powell cuts it back up the middle of the field. Takes it down close to the 15. Will be just shy of another first down for the Riders.
Interesting situation here when you get 2nd and short. I was going to say, if it was within a yard, you know that you've got almost a free play. You could take a shot, you could go play action, a lot of choices offensively. At 2 yards, you're back to just make sure you get the first down in a new set.
Over 120 yards on the ground for the Riders between Powell and Fajardo. Fajardo's going to keep this one. Now he's going to look towards the end zone, throws it up and out of bounds. Hammered down at the end of the play by Dozier. I think he wanted to run that originally, realized there was nothing there, and then threw it away before he was taken down.
Yeah, you know, Brandon Dozier, I think he just reads Cody Fajardo right here. You see, when Fajardo tucks it under his arm as if he's going to run from the get-go, Dozier says, well, I'll forget about my coverage responsibilities. I'm just going to track him down.
Lother, 1 of 2 on the night. Hit from 17. This is a 24-yard attempt straight into Pill Country. And that one is right down the middle. Riders, the lead, back up to 6, 2014 over Calgary.
Wrap in, folks. We've got to finish here.
Exciting night at Mosaic. Been an entertaining football game. Probably the best way to describe this one so far. And the fans here at Mosaic have been loving it. Their team right now, up 20-14, have never won a playoff game here in the new building. Got a long way to go in this one. Bo Levi Mitchell, 175 yards and 2 interceptions. He's going to look down the field, has a man in behind the defense, and he's got him! Reggie Bagleton hauls it in. Another big one for Reggie. Takes it down inside the 35.
Well, you just cannot fall asleep on Bo Levi Mitchell, because he'll wait for his opportunity to get in behind you. Reggie Bagleton, just a straight go route where he outruns the coverage, and there were 2 defenders. Webb on the inside, the youngster Clark on the outside, and he split him.
43 more for Bagleton. He's got 99 yards and 4 catches. All 4 sent his way. He's caught. Mitchell now at 218. Throwing again. This one complete just inside the 30. Pretty good effort. Eventually, the tackle was made. Robertson and Tights in there. And Ambles, 7 yards. He is slow to get up. 7th catch of the game for Ambles.
Mitchell threw it around the rush there. He brought Ambles back into the middle where the linebacker's coming inside out. He's a little slow to get up right now. Hopefully he can return.
Ambles, 686 yards in the regular season.
As world champion, I prepare to win. I still do today. Every game starts at bet99.net.
I'm not too sure what the odds were for 3 interceptions by one player in a game, but it would have paid nicely if you were betting on that tonight. Look at Mosaic there as we bring it back down to field level, and Ambles, who's been pretty good for this team this year. 3 touchdowns on the season. Had a 113-yard game as well.
Yeah, that looks good. It looks like he's going to be okay. He maybe just got the wind knocked out of him, and that happens. You have to regroup, take a second.
Ended up giving him 8. A hard 8 yards for Ambles pays off as now they sit in 2nd and 2.
Got to sit out 3 plays now.
Mitchell has trips over to his left. He'll give it to Carey. Carey's got the first down and more. He takes it inside the 15. An extra push at the end. All the way down just outside the 10.
Well, Carey's vision outstanding on this run. He sees at the point of attack that it's all blocked up. That's this side of the O-line. That's where they want to hit this play, but it's blocked up. So his vision is so good. Jump cut to the left, straight up the field, and then gets the first down and then some.
yards on the ground for Carey so far in this one. Just under 11 to play. Back to him again. Kadeem Carey towards the end zone. Stopped just short. But a heck of a run once again.
You just cannot just put a shoulder into Kadeem Carey. He runs almost like he looks like he's out of control, but he's not. I mean, this is just his style. He just will not quit, will not give up, especially when he's inside the 15. He can smell the end zone. He is looking for it. Bounces off tackles. You got to wrap him up to bring him down.
It's the third 100-yard game of the year for Kadeem Carey. And they're going to get a measurement on this one.
It's the first down.
And it'll be a fresh set of downs.
No! All it has to do is touch it.
Riders weren't happy with it even after the measurement.
Well, it was a quarter of an inch, and the defense said, wait a minute. But he said, no, the tip of the ball just has to touch that front marker, and it did.
A nice bounce-back drive by Calgary. The one big play to Reggie Begelton.
3-5.
They'll give it to Carey again, up over the top, and he stopped. Stuffed at the line. Just shy of a touchdown. So close.
Well, we'll take another look. Potential scoring plays automatically reviewed. He goes up and tries to get it over the pile.
That was close.
Damon Webb got him by the ankles and yanked him back just in time.
Hung on for dear life, didn't he?
What a play by Webb coming off the corner.
They'll get a second crack at it here. Mitchell gives it to Carey again, over the top again, and this time he's in. Touchdown, Kadeem Carey. Touchdown, Calgary. And we're deadlocked at 20.
You come, Bray Williams gets a chance to knock the air out of that football, and this time Kadeem Carey.
Offside. Saskatchewan defense. The penalty's declined. Touchdown.
Carey up over the top one more time, and this time Webb can't get him around the ankles.
He tried, though, didn't he?
Oh, he did. He almost got him there again, but 3-5 part 2 gets it there.
Now Calgary an opportunity to go on top after a 6-play, 75-yard drive that has quieted the crowd ever so slightly here at Mosaic.
Yeah, the hype man wants to hear it. He's like, what happened?
Paredes for the lead, and he knocks it home. They were up 7-0 early, and now they are on top again, courtesy of going over the top by Kadeem Carey. Stamps 21-20 the lead. TSN, Canada's home for the NFL.
Let's go, baby. Like I said, play 60 minutes, playoff football, and we ain't done. We got to lock down defense. Let's go, baby. Blitz probably chop 2.
That's the, you say it's Blitz or probably chop 2?
Just hype man. Remember that? We talked about regular season. We got a chance to sit down with Kadeem Carey, and his teammates love how positive the guy is at every turn, no matter what the circumstance.
The ball comes down to Morrow. Morrow, this time, stopped in his tracks before he could get to the 30. Here's a look at a huge drive that was just put together by the Stampeders.
Yeah, you know, when Calgary had Kamar Jordan, Markeith Ambles, they had a very good receiving core. And then when they got Reggie Begelton, it became great. Begelton starts the drive. Ambles gets this one, pays the price for it, and then Kadeem Carey cleans it up. 6 plays, 75 yards, 3 minutes, 39 seconds off the clock. Finished with that dive into the end zone by 35.
Second touchdown of the day for Kadeem Carey, who now watches his defense go to work against Cody Fajardo. Starts at his own 30. Fajardo, wide side of the field, looking for Evans. And that one falls incomplete. And that'll bring up 2nd and 10 for Fajardo.
Yeah, a little frustration from Fajardo after that one, too. It just looked like Shaq Evans coming out of his break, hesitated for a couple of steps, didn't go full speed, and then realized the ball was coming to him and tried to track it down from there. Fajardo kind of threw his hands up.
Evans has been targeted 4 times, has 1 catch. It was for -4 yards.
Drew 1 penalty.
And then also had the ball intercepted twice in his direction. Fajardo in trouble this time. Stays on his feet. Avoids 1 tackle. Fajardo pushing ahead. Spinning towards a 1st down. And you know what? I think he might have it.
Well, you wonder how he escaped here because it looked like the Calgary D-line had him corralled. I mean, they have a spy as well, and the spy steps up. It's Darnell Sankey and just doesn't break down on Fajardo in the pocket. That play by Monson designed to stop him running.
Now they flip it underneath to Lenius. His first touch of the day, and it didn't go anywhere. Short gain, and that'll set up 2nd and long here for Fajardo again.
Yeah, that's sometimes the defensive coordinator will call the ideal play. I mean, it was spy the quarterback so he can't run on 2nd down. Sankey did that. Fajardo just made a miss one more time here. He's done it a couple times tonight.
They give him 3, so it's 2nd and 7 for Fajardo, down by a single point. 3-man rush. Fajardo with time, and he's picked off in midfield. Cody Fajardo at midfield, intercepted by Jameer Thurman. His first of the season. Couldn't have come at a bigger time. 4th interception of the game for Cody Fajardo. Thurman all over it.
Go back to the interception. There's Jameer Thurman, but I want to take your attention to Darnell Sankey. Once again in the spy technique. So Cody Fajardo thinks the middle should be wide open. The linebacker is right at the line of scrimmage, making sure that he won't run the ball. So he thinks the middle is open, tries to go to Lenius there, but Jameer Thurman with an athletic play cuts underneath that one. Another interception.
Stampeders were dead last in the league, just 6 interceptions all season. They've got 4 here tonight. Mitchell thought about going down the field. Now he's going to dump it off to Mayala. And they'll take what they can get on 1st down with a 1-point lead and 7 minutes left.
Well, plenty of possessions for both teams still on the clock. Now it's just a matter of that sudden change. And can Dave Dickinson's group take full advantage of the sudden change to grab the momentum and maybe the game if you put in a major? The psychological game that Saskatchewan's battling right now. They gave up another turnover. Can they fight it off and get the stop?
2nd and 6 to Carey. Carey trying to find some room, cuts it back up the field. He's going to be stopped at about the 40, and that will bring up 3rd down. And Paredes already walking on to the field. Now they're going to call him back. He is out to about the numbers, and they called him back. 3rd and 3. Offense is going to stay on the field.
Wow. Talk about gutsy call right here for Dave Dickinson. That's 3. Now his running back has been awesome tonight. I'm sure that's part of this decision in Kadeem Carey.
Carey's got big. 109 yards on 20 carries. If they give it to him, he'll need 3 more here. Mitchell. Looking for that flag.
They tried to drop.
Won't get it. Won't get it.
Yeah, we saw Craig Dickinson do that.
Calgary.
In the first half.
It's their final timeout.
But Dave, in doing that and trying to draw Saskatchewan offside, has to burn his final timeout. He had a challenge early in the first half that he lost. That lost one of the timeouts. And now he's out of it.
Paredes sets up for a 47-yarders made from inside 30 twice in the game already. He's missed from 48 and 35. This one for a 4-point lead from 47 on the right hash. Paredes, he's got it. More than enough leg. And the accuracy is there this time. And Calgary now on top, 24-20.
Well, Major, and you know, that's why I was just, you know, when he sent the offense out there, you think, are you kidding me? You're going to go on 3rd and 3 when you have a chance with a kicker who, I hear you had a shaky first half, but has dialed it in since then to go up by 4 instead of 3, and you could see the reaction from Dave Dickinson.
Missed his first 2, has locked it in since then, and hit the last 3 attempts. And now with under 5.5 minutes to go, Fajardo, 4 interceptions on the game, gets the ball back again. Fajardo has a completion this time, and that's going to go for a first down. We might see a lot of Duke Williams on this drive.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, since he's arrived, Duke Williams has just become so reliable for Cody Fajardo that he's not messing around any longer, and he's going to number 14. Just sits down on the curl, and Jameer Thurman was close again.
Up to his own 47 now for Fajardo. Near side, back to Williams again. Williams over midfield, taken down, likely just shy of another first down, but it's close.
And I'm hearing the crowd now with a Duke kind of cheer. Here's a one-on-one. Richard Leonard giving Duke Williams a little bit of room.
They did end up giving him a first down. Williams now 44 yards on 4 catches. Had 2 catches only prior to this drive. Now on Calgary's side of the field, down 4, Fajardo with time over the middle. This one to McRoberts, and that's the biggest catch of his career with the Riders.
Yes, it is. They say he has these big hands, and going across the middle, he doesn't drop anything in practice, in training camp. He had a little bit of problems throughout the year with the playbook, but he's got that down in the last month and a half, and that's a big catch over the middle and a 16-yard gain for 88.
Riders putting together a drive right here. Fajardo with Williams now out to his left. He's going there again. Williams has it again, and he's got another first down. A steady diet of Duke.
Well, if you're Brent Monson right now, what you're seeing, you might just want to roll your coverage right to wherever 14 lines up. Get somebody up in his face, and then get somebody in behind him in case he tries to go deep and maybe just straight out double team Duke Williams, because that looks like the only guy Cody wants to go to. I mean, he hit Paul McRoberts on the crosser, but it's been all Duke.
Fajardo 4 for 4 on this drive. Now on the Calgary 26. Pressured, gets it away. It's completed to Schaefer Baker, and he is very close to another first down. What a drive and what an answer here by the Riders. They had the lead. They let it slip away.
This is the 3-minute warning.
And Cody Fajardo is trying to get it back as we hit 3 minutes in Regina. Don't go anywhere. Great finish coming up. Well, the road to the Grey Cup continues next Sunday, beginning with the East Final. It's the Ticats and the Argos at 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 a.m. Pacific. An early start out west, and then it'll be the Bombers at 3:30 Eastern against who the heck knows. One of these 2 teams, that's all we can tell you right now. Fajardo's 5 for 5 for 61 yards on this drive. His team is down 4, less than 3 to play. Fajardo dumps it off. A completion to Powell, trying to walk the line. And he's pushed out of bounds just outside the Calgary 5, which will not be a first down.
No hesitation here for Fajardo to get it out into the flat to William Powell. Zone drop from Calgary. He gets it in the hands of his running back in a hurry, and he steps out right there. Spot correct by the official. Just short of the first down. Got a free one here.
2nd and 1 for Fajardo. shotgun. Powell stands in behind him.
3 backs.
A couple of extra bodies in there to block. Powell pushing ahead, stays on his feet. Looks like he's got the first down before he is stopped. And that'll be a fresh set as they're knocking on the door.
Yeah, Alexander Dupuis in there with Keenan LaFrance and William Powell. Well, they really stacked the backfield, try and get just sort of a power game going right between the tackles. But that Calgary defense bowed its neck and stepped up. Got the first down, but didn't score.
For a guy who's thrown 4 interceptions, Fajardo looks extremely calm in this drive. My goodness.
Yeah, best drive of the game, pretty much, with the pressure on him. He's stepping in and throwing with confidence.
First and goal from the Calgary 3 for Fajardo. Gets it to Powell. Powell trying to push ahead. And he will be stopped. Just short.
Now, is it on the 1-yard line? Just a hesitation for Powell. Just a little bit of a dance back there, and it allows Calgary to rally to it. I mean, Powell, watch when he gets the ball here. Just a dance right there. It was Jameer Thurman who convinced him that you better slow down and dance back there in the backfield. He steps up. Jameer Thurman, who's had just a great back half of the season. And into this playoff game, coming off that interception on the last drive, another big play by 56.
Second and goal. Fajardo under center, pushing ahead, lunging in, touchdown Riders! Cody Fajardo finishes it off, and Saskatchewan goes back on top. They're loving it. Biggest drive of Cody Fajardo's career with the Riders finishes with the ball in his hands.
Extra point to follow. Calgary still has lots of time on the clock, but for now, maybe his best drive of the season. Confident throws, hit Duke Williams, got Paul McRoberts involved, and has taken the lead.
9-play, 75-yard drive. Took 3 minutes, 10 seconds. Extra points. Right down the heart of it. And the Riders lead 27-24.
I just got to say it, because Dustin and I were walking to the game today, and Dustin said, you know, a 27-24, doesn't matter who wins, which team, 27-24 game would be the game of the year, wouldn't it?
It's not over yet, but what are the odds? I mean,
it's not over yet.
It's a close one.
No, the Calgary Stampeders have lots of time here.
A ton of time with one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game, and Bo Levi Mitchell, and a field goal from Paredes would tie it. So we are a long way from finished here at Mosaic. We didn't want it any other way, and both these teams have delivered tonight.
What a drive, as you mentioned, for Cody Fajardo. The confidence by which he orchestrated this one. I mean, he starts and goes twice back-to-back to get the drive started to Duke Williams. And that gives him the confidence. That's a big throw over the middle to Paul McRoberts, back to Duke, and then finishes with the quarterback sneak.
Arthur lets it fly. Moxie slides underneath it at the 20. Moxie cuts it back out to the 30. Stays on his feet. Moxie heading to the far side of the field. Cuts it back up. Great return by Moxie. And he earned it. Had to take it all the way outside the 43 interceptions. And a big-time return to put Mitchell in a pretty good spot.
We'll turn up the volume now.
Many in the crowd at Mosaic now coming to their feet as their defense has an opportunity to possibly seal this thing away.
You know, Bo Levi Mitchell wouldn't want it any other way. He loves playing here.
a heck of a lot more as he gets it into the hands of Hakunavanu for the first time today, and he comes up big.
Yeah, a little push route to the outside. Luther Hakunavanu catches that one. He's a strider now. He can get in behind coverage, too. He's shown some great speed in limited action this year, and he showed it there with a little burst after the catch.
You know, Bill Levi Mitchell isn't thinking field goal to tie it. He wants to drive the field and punch this thing in for the lead. Works on the Saskatchewan 52. Mitchell, pressure up the middle from Lacey. Goes out to the right, has a man. Begelton's got it, it's complete. And he'll be tied up, wrapped up on the far side of the field. He's over 100 yards receiving now on the game.
Long for Rennie Paredes on the season has been 52 yards. But you're right. Mitchell looking to convert here on second down and look for more than a field goal attempt.
2nd and 4. Mitchell pressured, takes a look over the middle. Is that caught down inside the 35? It looked low. Jordan, did he go down and get it?
Boy, Kamar Jordan's been quiet in this one, and let's see if he pulls out a miracle here, because that looked like it was going to bounce. I mean, Mitchell rolling to his left against the flow, throws it down and away. And does he get his hands under that? He does. What a catch by Kamar Jordan.
1st and 10 now, a flag as that ball is snapped. With 1 minute and 19 seconds on the clock. What's the call?
Procedure, Calgary, number 67. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
Zach Williams at left guard.
Well, that's not going to get the crowd even more fired up.
Please reset the game clock to 1 minute and 23 seconds. 1:23.
As he goes back once again to Kamar Jordan, and he's got it.
Come on. Watch Mitchell on this. This is Sandlot, and this is confidence. I mean, Kamar Jordan, to just emerge at this point in the game after being so quiet all game long, incredible. But Mitchell, casually against the flow again, hits his #1 target.
Mitchell working some magic here late. Now he's going to have to run away. He's pressured. Tights was there. And the help comes along from Robertson. And they get to him. And that'll bring up 3rd down. What a play.
Robertson with a big push, and he just melts the corner.
Had a big fumble recovery earlier in the half. Comes up with a huge play there. That's Pete Robertson, and now the crowd to their feet. Paredes needs this for the tie with 40 seconds on the clock. Paredes to lock this thing up just inside the upright. Come on! We're tied at 27. Not much room for error there.
He flirted with that post, didn't he? He flirted with it. I mean, that was fading to the left, and he tucked it in.
Couple of feet.
Wow.
Maybe. His holder and punter, Cody Grace there. And now just 37 seconds remaining. And we are deadlocked at 27. We already saw one upright get hit tonight. Lothar doinked one off there earlier in the game. This time Paredes is able to sneak it in.
Well, Calgary has to kick off, and often the strategy here is to not allow the return team to set up a return in their blocking schemes. So you squib it along the ground to try and just make it sort of a scramble to recover.
Last thing you want to do is kick it cleanly to Jamal Morrow. He's got a return touchdown today and had another one on a missed field goal called back.
Now you may just kick it to the opposite returner, or you may try to kick it to the middle guys, the middle row in here, if you're Mark Killam.
They will kick it. LaFrance takes it at the 12. LaFrance near side, and he gets hammered at the 32. Got popped there once again by Thurman. And with 32 seconds left, Cody Fajardo gets the ball back. Coming off his best drive of the night. We'll see what he can do with just 32 seconds.
If he's efficient, it's four shots, 4 plays.
They have a timeout in their back pocket as well. Probably need about 30 to 35 yards to take a crack at it. Saw Lothar kicking the other way at halftime. He hit from 57. The wind seems to have died down here at Mosaic. Fajardo, pressure, forced out to the right, down the field, and has to throw it away before he runs out of bounds. Wilson there in pursuit.
Yeah, but his mindset different. If this is a 1-point lead by Calgary, obviously he's gunning it and he's using, but now he's got to play smart. He knows he's going to continue if that time runs out. So don't force something in this situation that might turn it over. In other words, don't throw it towards 27. Moxie.
Not a good idea. Not a good idea so far tonight. 2nd and 10 for Fajardo. On his own 32. 3-man rush. Fajardo still in trouble though. There's a flag as Fajardo stays on his feet. Eventually is taken down inside the 40, but there was a flag. And it's a hold against the Riders, and that'll back them up a little bit more.
And stop the clock. See what the call is officially. But you're right, it looked like holding.
Holding. Saskatchewan, number 62. That penalty's declined. It'll be 3rd down.
So the penalty declined. That'll bring up 3rd down. And it looks as though they will just...
How many times can the Dickinson parents change jersey colors in one 3-hour game?
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if they passed out. I mean, they're watching their boys. It's tied at 27. Overtime is looming, and you're watching here wearing both the green and the red colors. That's got to be tough. And Fajardo will watch this clock tick down. And Glenn, we thought it would be a good game. We said it's probably going to be a close one. And here we are heading to overtime with a spot in Winnipeg awaiting the winner. 27 for the Riders, 27 for the Stamps. Overtime for all of you next. Welcome back to Mosaic in Regina, everybody. Thank you for joining us. A little free football on the way tonight. And if you need a reset on the overtime rules, here's a look.
Yeah, we'll have the coin toss in a second. It's mini games, so each team will scrimmage from the 35-yard line when it's their turn. If you score a major, you must go for a 2-point convert. So you have to make both those plays, and then if the next team matches, we go again. So most of the time, if you win the toss, you want to go second here to know what you're up against.
It's a 2-point conversion that makes it really interesting, isn't it? Let's get to the coin toss.
Captains, I have the coin for the overtime period. The CFL logo is heads. The LCF logo is tails. Calgary, you're the visitors. What's your choice? Heads is the call. Heads. It's ahead. Calgary, you've won the toss, and you'll elect to go on defense. What end would you like the minigame to begin at? That end. Calgary, you're on defense at this end. Saskatchewan will start with the football.
Cody Fajardo gets the ball first. Opportunity to set the tone here in overtime. And for Fajardo, the best he's looked in this game was in the final 7-8 minutes of the game. So we'll see if that momentum can carry over. He just seems so much more comfortable late in this game than he did in the first half of it.
Yeah, threw some confident throws in those last couple of series, and don't forget his ability to run in this scenario amplified. But as you can see, Calgary won the toss, and Bo Levi Mitchell elected to go second.
They start this mini game here in overtime from the 35. Thank you very much for joining us. Great day of CFL football here on TSN. Fajardo dumps it off far side to Powell. Powell's going to cut it back up. Powell staying on his feet, takes it down inside the 20. How's that for a play to start OT?
Yeah, great play to start OT, and you know that both these teams will be practicing this scenario in the just in case. And there's Powell in the backfield. Starts out with the pump fake to the short side for Fajardo, and then he just gives his running back time to allow the blocks to set up in front of him. 17-yard gain.
Into the red zone. 1st and 10 from the 18 for Fajardo. Empty backfield. Powell in the slot out to his right. Fajardo pressured. Steps up looking for a block. Pushing ahead. Finally taken down at about the Calgary 11. Nice pickup. Getting something out of nothing for Cody Fajardo.
Yeah, he had a big Evan Johnson out there in front of him, and this was designed to beat their spy, to get the guard and Evan Johnson to try and get in the front or in the way of Darnell Sankey. Congratulations, by the way, to the U of S Huskies and Western
and
on their way to the Vanier Cup.
Should be a good game.
Evan Johnson, Huskies alum.
2nd and 3 now for Fajardo. They're going to bring some pressure. Fajardo gets it away. Looked like his hand might even hit to the end zone. Incomplete. Was looking for Schaefer Baker, and it falls incomplete.
Boy, he had him up over the top. Looked like he did get that pressure, had to throw it with Mike Rose right in his chops, and Schaefer Baker, did he stumble just before the ball arrived, but in both hands, can't throw it any better. Young rookie had a chance for the major in the back of the end zone there.
3rd and 3. Riders will bring out Lother. 2 of 3 today. This one from 20. Ooh, and he sneaks that one inside the right upright. A little too close for comfort there, but 3 points is 3 points, and the Riders on top, 30-27.
You know, and as I mentioned, Calgary winning the toss and electing to go second. Now they know the major win is obviously, but they're not going to do anything radically if it comes down to a 3rd and long.
If you have to, you take the 3 and go again.
You take the 3 and you go again for a second round. Regular season, there is only 2 rounds of the playoffs.
Just 2 mini games, and that's it.
But in the playoffs, we go until a winner is declared. So settle in.
A touchdown wins it for Calgary. Mitchell, he's going to go for a touchdown right now. Sends it down the field, and it falls incomplete. As they wasted no time taking a crack at it to Reggie Begelton. I was wondering if he might do that.
Yeah, and not surprised at all with the way Begelton's played in the second half. Him and Kamar Jordan, I just thought, hey, you got Nick Marshall in press coverage. Now, he knows he's got Ed Gainey over the top, so that ball had to be perfect. And threw it just a little far outside.
2nd and 10 now for Mitchell. That time, Begelton working against Marshall and Gainey as opposed to Clark and Webb earlier in the game when they were able to hit him on big ones. Mitchell needs 10 for a first. Underneath, has it complete. 25, and he might have it. Looks like he does.
Oh, this is a game of angles. Damon Webb had a chance to cut Mayala off, and he can't get it done. Watch as he catches this crossing route. Now, Mayala, if Damon Webb is outside in, Luchez Purifoy makes a tackle well short, and Calgary's kicking a field goal. Webb took a little bit of an inside angle. Mayala got the corner. Another set of downs.
First and 10 from the Rider 25. They'll give it to Carey this time. Carey staying on his feet. Look at Carey rolling down. Almost had a first down before eventually they're there. Marshall, Gainey, everybody in there forcing Carey to come up just short. See that smile, though? He knows that's a great run.
Yeah, great run, and again, no matter what the circumstance, Kadeem Carey wakes up with a positive or gets up with a positive attitude. Boy, now you've got a chance for a freebie here. I mean, you're 2nd and 1. You're going to get it on 3rd down anyway. So this could be play action for Bowen over the top. Take a shot.
From the Rider 16 for Mitchell. They'll give it to Carey. Carey's in trouble. He's going to be stopped short on 2nd and 1. What a play by that Riders front.
Well, stopped short. I mean, he may have lost a yard. Was that Jonathan Woodard who stepped up? It looks like 3-man pressure to begin with. Those 4 linebackers back there did get up there in a hurry. I think it was Jonathan Woodard. Again, just crashing down on the edge and then getting wrapped up around the waist of Carey. Monster play by the D-line.
Paredes from 25 to force a second overtime. The kick is up, and it is good. We are tied at 30. So much fun. Well, we'll do it again here, Glenn. Why not? No rush to leave just yet. Let's send it down to Sarah Orlesky for a look at the sidelines right now.
It's a tad tense, Dustin. Don't know why. I'm down on the Riders sideline. There's a nervous group down here, and it seems to be really mixed. You've got those players that are standing up, had to watch everything. When you look at, though, the receiving core, most of the guys' heads down, looking nervous to see whether or not Kadeem Carey was able to get that first down. Fist pumps, though, when they saw that it was going to be a field goal.
Well, that defense has been outstanding for Saskatchewan the back half of the season. They were one of the leaders in sacks, 2nd in the league, and tied for 1st in interceptions. That's a big stop on 2nd and a yard to go by the D-line and Jonathan Woodard. So we go again at the opposite side, but this time the Calgary Stampeders get the ball first.
Stamps will start with it. Once again, Mosaic to its feet. Mitchell, 286 yards, 2 interceptions on the day. They'll take the handoff. Pakunavanu has it stripped. Knocked out of bounds as Calgary hopped back on it. Mayala jumps on it just in the nick of time. And it'll be 2nd down.
We'll take a look because Ed Gainey was all over the football as it popped out.
The ruling on the field is that the ball was last touched by Calgary. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, let's check again. Ball is out right there, so it is a fumble. There's Gainey. Now he hits it. Does it go out of bounds there? Because if it does, well, it doesn't. It doesn't. I think Mayala got there.
I wasn't that Gainey knocked it back in. Mayala in the nick of time, able to get on that ball. 1 yard loss sets up 2nd and 11.
Boy, this is how close it is. Still in bounds, and Mayala with what a play by Hergy Mayala. Wow.
Hasn't got a touchdown this year. That might be his biggest play of the season.
Absolutely. Roughriders kicker already in field goal range. Start on the 35. They only lost one on the Mayala fumble recovery, so they're taking a shot to Begelton, but timing from Nick Marshall. The all-star corner, just as the ball is arriving, that's when he gets Begelton that push out of bounds. And that doesn't allow him to reel that one in. Although he may have landed outside.
He might have. I was going to say that would have been amazing if he could have actually hauled that thing in with the way the momentum was taking his body. Paredes now. Certainly not automatic. 44-yard attempt, right hash for Paredes. 5 of 7 on the night. And this one is wide left. Paredes is missed in overtime. And it'll be brought out by Morrow. Morrow will take it out. There's a flag on the play. But Paredes misses wide left. And he's distraught on the sidelines.
This flag may be interesting.
Paredes on the season, 91.7%.
During the return, illegal block, Saskatchewan number 19. That penalty will end their chance to score. It will be Saskatchewan ball.
So it's not assessed, the penalty not assessed to the start of Saskatchewan's turn with the overtime. In other words, it's not a penalty that would put them to the 45. They'll start on the 35.
Paredes missed 4 kicks all season, Glenn, and he's missed 3 here tonight, including that one. And you feel for the guy. Now a chance for the Riders. Anything wins it. Fajardo in shotgun. They'll turn around and hand it off to Powell. Powell pushing ahead, takes it all the way down to the 30. About 5 yards in that first down carry. As the Riders know that this game could be put on the leg of Brett Lothar.
Yeah, they're in the power set right now with Alexander Dupuis, Keenan LaFrance, and William Powell in the backfield. Just 2 running plays and a kick.
Now from the 30, 2nd and 5 for Fajardo. Same formation, they'll turn around, Powell again, and Powell pushes ahead, and he will be stopped just shy of the first down. Lothar called into work. Paredes can do nothing but watch from the Calgary sideline as his counterpart wearing 12 in green has a chance to deliver a playoff victory for the first time here at Mosaic. It'll be a 34-yard attempt for Brett Lothar. Has missed one tonight. This one will be from straight away for a West semi-final victory. Lothar, the hold is good. The kick is up, and the Riders are going to Winnipeg. Lothar, the hero, as a flag does fall on the field.
Check the flag. Before the celebration, I know most of the Riders didn't see the flag on the field.
Here's the call.
We have a major foul against Calgary for hitting the long snapper. That penalty will be declined. The game will be over.
Game over.
Saskatchewan Roughriders, for the first time, victorious in the postseason at Mosaic Stadium. Big brother, the victory here tonight. What a game, Glenn. What a game.
My little brother Dave has had the edge for some time now, and Craig Dickinson gets his first playoff win against his brother. First playoff win here at the new Mosaic Stadium. First playoff win for Cody Fajardo. boy, this game delivered, didn't it?
It wasn't pretty for Cody Fajardo, but when it mattered the most, he came through and delivered, overcoming a lot of adversity tonight, throwing 4 interceptions, but when they needed a drive late in the game, he got it done. And then Lothar straight away from 34 to kick the Riders into the West Final, where they will face the Winnipeg Blue Bombers a week from today. Thrilling finish to an absolute classic here in Regina. Gotta feel good if you're Cody Fajardo right now.
Well, it really has been. This game was basically Cody Fajardo's season.
Yep, you're right.
Scratching and clawing for every single win, right down to the wire. Sometimes the stats don't jump off the page. They didn't again tonight for Fajardo, but he got it done when he had to. And Saskatchewan will go to Winnipeg next weekend.
This game had a little bit of everything. Interceptions, return touchdowns, defensive plays, offensive touchdowns, overtime, and a game-winning kick from Brett Lothar, a classic in the Queen City here tonight, sets up a massive, massive West Final as the Riders, and I'm sure thousands of their fans, will make the trek out to Winnipeg for a battle with the Bombers. Thank you very much for joining us here tonight.